Damn, Gary, some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.
It's not Atlantis.
We also don't have Jimmy Corsetti. Sorry.
Wait, who fucked that up?
I don't think we uploaded the new one. Sorry.
Perry Chan, he put it in there. I saw it. Perry,
I did.
you are a beast. I'm serious. That is incredible.
We can put the right one in there and we'll play it at the end of the show.
I didn't get to say this.
I can do that.
Because my internet. Perry. Wow. That is amazing.
That is amazing. What's this wee stuff?
Good shit.
I like the royal wee.
I mean, I
guess
could have checked.
It's
I
my
just
fault.
assumed.
Quarter Black Garrett is not here because I put his ass to work on a video.
This guy.
He did such a great job in the last video. It's like, get your ass back to work.
You're working him harder than the Asians in the sweatshops.
I
for the
know,
kids.
right? Well, I'm just working the quarter part of him.
Wow. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Quarter Black Garrett will be back next week. He is working on my Indiana Jones video. My first one on this channel, believe it or not. My very first. It's my
never
done one. It's my Raiders Lost Ark is my favorite movie of all time. It is Lawrence of Arabia. It is like, I think it's the
amazing
movie, the perfect movie from beginning to end. Everything about it is perfect. Even its imperfections are perfect. And there's only 3 Indiana Jones movies.
I agree.
Yeah. And the last one came out in 1989. So today, I'm glad to be back with Adam, though, who your Swedish internet gave out on you.
No, all right. So look,
okay,
I have to talk about this.
I want to blame your country. That's what
it was everyone in my neighborhood. I think like a tree came down or something in like the lines got disconnected. Because it wasn't my personal internet. Like everyone in my entire area lost their internet. So I think it was something like that. So it's back. I am really bummed that I missed Jimmy. And Jimmy, if you're watching, thanks for those kind words. I am looking forward to talking to you when you rejoin the cast a couple months from now. I think he's coming back. I'm really excited.
1 month.
Really excited.
Yes. And I missed you. I missed you, man. I'm glad to have you here.
Thanks. I was here. I was in chat. I was on 3G watching. I tried to type something and it didn't even work, and it just went. One single E went out, and the chat.
I saw that.
So I don't know what happened.
Like, what the hell is he talking about?
No, but there was just a shit ton of E's. Everyone just started hitting E. So I appreciate that. Type E for me. You guys are great.
He's in the chat for Adam.
He's in the chat for me. Thank you.
When you hear E, you think of Mini Me.
That is fantastic.
He's so cute.
Isn't this great?
1-to-1 scale.
A little creepy, also, but
that's in the chat for Vern Troyer. McFarlane Toys. That's right.
Nice. Thanks for all them E's, chat. You guys are absolutely amazing.
He's in the chat for Adam.
But great interview though with Jimmy. I have so many questions. You guys didn't even like scratch the surface, I feel, with the knowledge that Jimmy has. And it was a great interview. I thoroughly enjoyed actually being a viewer instead of, being on the show. So it was we got a good show going on here. Got something good. And that intro, ooh, Perry. Seriously.
So good. It's so good.
I showed my wife earlier and she was like, holy shit, this is legit. I'm like, yeah, what?
I put it up on Twitter and Gina Carano liked the tweet.
Yeah.
So she saw
There's something like so hype. Like I feel so hyped watching it. Like I'm excited for what's about to happen. So
Yep, so we really need to deliver. No pressure.
Yeah, I don't feel a pressure.
I don't feel pressure.
I get to talk about really cool stuff that you throw me interesting documentaries that I'd never even heard of. I watch them and I'm thrilled. I'm like, this is awesome. And then I get to talk to you guys about it. Like,
right.
I mean, life is good.
Life is good. I love this show.
It's good.
Somebody said I like this show more. I don't have it's like a kid. I don't have a favorite. That's not true. I absolutely have a favorite kid. Sometimes one kid pisses me off. The other one's my favorite for sure. But I don't know. I like all the shows I do, but this is like I said, this is going to be my retirement job. This is the one I do till I die. So I just love it. X-Ray Girl, hi.
Hello. I would love to say the same sentiment as Adam. There's something so cool about the show where I get to research, make notes. Yes, I make notes, and it's like I'm back.
Are we supposed to do that?
No, I do it just so that
just kidding.
I have the notes in case.
Producer, there's a big difference. Professional.
You type your notes on the computer?
Yeah, so if you go to my notes for Forbidden Frontier for the show, it's above, and so I can scroll up and down where I need to find what we're talking about.
That's
so
good.
Can I access those notes? Can I cheat on your homework kind of vibe? I mean,
yeah.
Well, it depends on when I do it. Like I watched the current documentary before we
The Phenomenon.
So, yeah,
okay.
But if you want,
I watched
I'll drop it in the chat for you.
Cool.
And someday we can break down the entire documentary. We're going to be just talking about a segment of it.
Oh man, there's a lot in there.
I
had no idea. I had no idea.
I've reviewed it in the past when it came out last year, and I think it's one of the best documentaries as a primer for somebody getting into this. I mean, a lot of the stuff I already know because I've been into this stuff for years, but I think it's really good to bring people in. James Fox, sorry, I'm choking to death here. James Fox is a very good documentarian. He did Out of the Blue. I'm pretty sure he did I Know What I Saw, which is about the Phoenix Lights, which we're totally going to do a show on the Phoenix Lights. It's the Phoenix Lights is still probably the single best UFO sighting, best as far as like multiple witnesses, even I think it was the governor of the state came around on it and everything and admitted that he bullshitted people. There's a whole controversy around that, but it's good. Out of the Blue has been around for 2 decades. I think it was back when Netflix was good, and it had tons of UFO documentaries. I don't know if it still does, but Netflix used to be awesome for documentaries, but
used to be
anymore. Not so much anymore. But today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Skinwalker. I mean, kind of a nothing episode this week, I'm going to say.
I mean,
they have 14 episodes this season. Usually they have 10, and it feels like they're really dragging it out. Like this last one.
What's that purple light?
Oh my God. I can't wait to show the pictures I have bookmarked for that.
I know the purple light was, it had to be like, I think somebody said they figured it out on Twitter, but I don't buy the purple light. For one, they had a cameraman on the purple light and they only showed a blink. And it's like, dude, you can still that. You can blow it up and show us what the fucking purple light is. And they didn't. In the past, when they saw a UAP with the camera, they try to pretend the cameras aren't there, but dude, those are the best cameras. that are actually shooting the show, and they usually use those cameras to show the UAPs. On this one, there was a purple light that the
Multiple
superintendent saw.
instances of it being caught on camera.
Yeah,
Also,
and they didn't. And then Travis Taylor uses his night vision, and there's a UAP in the sky, and they show the fucking footage from the night vision camera, and it's like you couldn't get a shot of that with the cameras that you have all over the fucking place. So it's like they were getting a lot of criticism on Twitter, and I think they kind of earned it on this one. But I like the show.
Agreed.
And
so do I.
They're digging in the Mesa, and it's like, and they're dragging it out
Finally.
the next episode. It's like, fucking come on.
I think it is about time that they start digging into the Mesa, because obviously there's something underneath the Mesa, or from what I've gathered, there's probably something under there. What it is, I don't know. And does the military know about it? Because that mysterious helicopter that appeared was confirmed by the governor, because they reached out to the governor. He actually showed up, and he's like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?" They're like, "Yeah, there was a weird helicopter," and he was like, they had an aviation guy with them too. Well, what was his? I don't remember the name of the signal that every helicopter or
ABS?
plane had. Yeah, what was their What was the number? Oh, it didn't have one. Well, that's illegal unless it's a military craft. I'll get back to you. Oh yeah, it was the military. It was a Black Hawk. They're not telling us what it is. So obviously the military is watching them. But
Yes.
why? Why would they be watching them? Right?
Well, I mean,
That's what I'm curious about.
they had the previous investigation from Robert Bigelow
Mhm.
it was a government investigation that my tax dollars paid for, because I'm in the US, and yours too, Adam.
I still pay taxes in the
yes.
States.
Yep. So but not the Canadian. And then
Right.
when he sold it, for whatever reason, he made sure to sell it to somebody who would continue the investigation. Because quite frankly, the government uses a lot of private companies anyway. They use private contractors for most of their stuff, but this is a way for them to detach from it. Bigelow probably didn't want to pay for it anymore, because again, in Jeremy Corbell's documentary, they talk about this a lot. They had a lot of experiences. They were there for many, many years, like over a decade, well over a decade, maybe longer. But they were applying the scientific method, which they ultimately decided, like, it just doesn't work. Not with this. We need to have a different approach, because the scientific method, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, obviously not a scientist, kicked out of 3 high schools. You have to repeat things. Things have to be repeated. And you have to be able to, like, if you can poke the bear enough to get some kind of phenomenon to happen, you need to be able to do it again, so you can get data, so you can get video, so you can get whatever, and it would just never happen. Like, it would the ranch, whatever's there, would either anticipate them. It was like it was messing with them.
It's probably a troll,
Maybe
like a Twitter troll almost.
Well, maybe it's a teaser. If you're if you're familiar with Hitchhiker, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a teaser is somebody who comes down to Earth and puts little fake antennas on their head, making meet noises to, like, farmers, just to fuck with them.
Meep.
Yeah.
So in all, after this episode, actually the past few episodes, especially when they did the ground penetrating radar, when they were walking with that snake thing over the top of the Mesa, and there was this, it looked like a column, which they were digging in, and what was it? How did they find out that it was a dome shape? That was the digger that suggested it?
The ground penetrating radar.
Is that what it is? It picked up
like
a dome.
Multiple ground penetrating radar, and there is something solid down there for sure.
So,
and they did get chips of metal, and this this metal wasn't like, it's not like digging up iron ore. It was processed metal.
Mm-hmm. And specifically, though, the same type of metal that they use for heat shields.
Yes,
or
and the shuttle.
Shuttles re-entering the atmosphere. So what I think might actually be the case, similar to the way Bob Lazar said when he was working in S4, that another spacecraft what he was told that was found in an archaeological dig.
Yeah, one of them was found. Yeah, there was
Right.
multiple craft. I can't remember the number. I think it was like 6. That he
Mhm.
like there was an open door, and he was able to look down all the bays, right, and
Right.
see 6 craft. It might again correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. 6 or 9, I can't remember. And he said one of them was said to be dug up, but I mean, we also have to mention that he said that they gave me misinformation sometimes too to make
That's
sure.
true.
But he definitely saw the craft. Well, that's what he says. That's what Bob Lazar says. I believe Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar hasn't gone on speaking tours. This guy can make so much fucking money with
Right.
his story. Blew open Area 51, and he just doesn't, and he actually hates talking about it. Like, and only George Knapp is basically, or through George Knapp is the only way to talk to Bob Lazar. Like he just won't, George Knapp is legit. That's a legit, one of the very few super legit guys in UFOs, him and Richard Dolan.
So imagine there's something that's still working down there. Some
Maybe.
sort of ancient technology, some spaceship that emits that 1.6 gigahertz signal that they keep catching, that is messing with
Stuff.
everything
Everything.
essentially, right? I mean,
Yeah.
who knows what kind of energy that might put out? I'm not saying that that's what I think it is, but it would actually explain a lot if it was something that we don't know how it works, and or maybe it's got some sort of sentience, like it doesn't want to be found. It's buried there for a reason, and it's trying to prevent them from digging, because every single time they start digging, and the dragon's like, "No digging,
No
Dragon." He's growing on me. I'll be honest.
I like
He's so funny.
He's growing on me.
But I like Dragon. No, that's what makes the show good. Is it's got a lot of good personalities in it. Like everybody's
Mhm.
pretty entertaining. Travis
A lot is
hilarious.
I don't know.
1.6
dramatized.
gigahertz. What the hell's going on?
Oh my God,
300
his
above the
accent.
mesa.
So good.
Kills
That's so
me.
good. That's so accurate. I'm like, bro, can you take a deep breath maybe and just calm down a little bit? Like,
he
no.
pretends
Gotta
it.
hype it up.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now
It's
one
good for
thing
the show.
I found very interesting was when they were flying the rocket into the sky and the one that like blew up.
Yeah.
Was
At that
like 30,
specific moment, or
31
where they-
feet?
the episode before where they had they had that high speed camera going, and they had
Right.
that little
Yeah.
globular thing, and that's when the rocket blew up on that. That was interesting. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was weird.
that's weird.
Yeah. And they did mention, I thought that was really interesting, that the year before they flew a 15-foot rocket, which exploded at apparently
the same height,
approximately
in
same
the
height.
same place, and the same height in the same place.
Ugh.
It's a little weird.
It's a little
Gives me a
weird.
little goosebumps.
Like, what would cause it to explode in general
Hit
especially at the same time? Well, it didn't hit something though, because it kept going.
The weirdest thing, the floating orb in this was in season 1 or 2. The floating
Uh-huh.
orb in the trees was one of the weirdest thing, and the growling that you like they're out there running an experiment, then all of a sudden you hear this growling. Now that could have been it could have been a wild dog or something, but that was still weird. It was like, what the fuck? Now
That is weird.
it is weird because that's one of the things that's been reported on Skinwalker a lot is growling giant dogs. And I mean, like the whole theory is they can't really come out and say it because they're running an experiment. So the whole theory is that there's some kind of portal that all kinds of creatures, big and small, have been entering, including humanoids, dire wolves. And it could be a Wrinkle in Time, not the dumb movie, but in book, but it could be a tear in the space-time continuum, something like that. That's what always the theories have been around since the 90s, since they talked about this on our bell. It's a weird place.
Where would it be located though? Where would this portal be?
Well,
would it be under the mesa?
It moves. So
It moves.
what the theory is there's something disturbing our magnetic field, something that is creating I can't say energy. There's a lot of gamma radiation there, but there's something that's fucking with the fabric of time and space there, whether it's buried below. Now, we know at impact sites, that can mess with the magnetic field a little bit, due to the impact. So that is a giant, ancient impact site. They mentioned that
on Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's millions of years old, though. It's millions of years old.
What if it's some sort of meteor that landed 2 million years ago, and it's charged with some metal that we don't even know, that doesn't exist to us right now?
Unobtainium or adamantium, or
yeah, why not?
Unobtainium. Well, when they put the snake cam into the rock, and they saw that whatever metal last year, and then
that pink stuff.
So that was the most interesting thing, was the pink stuff that they found. I'd say that's the most interesting thing in the entire episode, and then you find out what it is in the scenes for next episode, or into what it is. And I forgot what it was now.
I also forgot. X-ray notes.
Stuff. Sorry, I'm looking through it.
It in the scenes for next week. I watched it last year.
I skipped that because I don't want to get I don't want to be spoiled. I wanted to watch it. I always skip the next episode stuff.
Because I got my Skinwalker. Okay, you know how I got this shirt? So I joined.
Is that a Skinwalker shirt?
It is. I joined.
Is that
cool?
Wait, let me make it
fan club. So I joined.
Oh my god, it's a
Skinwalker Ranch. Look at that
alien creature in the middle of it.
That's pretty cool, and it's what, radioactive alien kind of vibe. Yeah, that's a dope shirt, actually.
So you can they do like post show like live streams and stuff on the website. That's how I watch. And you have access to the like they'll show the cameras on
like Big Brother style. You can see anytime.
Absolutely.
Oh,
so could you log in right now and show us like a live feed from Skinwalker?
Probably could.
Would that breach the club rules?
I don't know. I gotta remember.
Did you read the terms?
Maybe look it up. I don't want to get you kicked out, but that would be pretty rad if we can tune in and there's just a Skinwalker just sitting there like looking at us. It's like, oh shit,
so crazy. The one time
that would be awesome.
So I guess we might as well bring up the part where we had that purple blinking light. They were trying to shoot a rocket into the air, and
at the same time they were trying to also launch like a firework mortar. And it was just like trigger things and just take measurements.
This triple spectrum light wave transmitter machine that had infrared, UV, and visible light projecting it from it at 1.6 gigahertz. So they were trying to aggravate it, which caused apparently 2 malfunctions on the rocket. And then the third time, for some reason, a purple light. Now, did you guys see the part where they were looking for the purple light?
It was so cheesy. I just have you ever seen The Curse of Oak Island?
Yes, I have. And
okay, do you love that show? Don't you?
I do.
I know you do. This reminds me of that show.
Yeah.
In that it's like they just make everything so big and it's just so silly.
We found a piece of metal, like an entire I stopped watching. Like I guess they've actually found some stuff now, but
oh, good for them.
Like, we found a piece of metal. It was an entire.
We found an old piece of wood.
At least with Skinwalker, like we're seeing a freaking UFO once in a while, and a cow. Sorry about the cow, but cows die every day. Yeah, and this is something I've been into, the Oak Island thing. It's like I know some people like the show better, and that's totally okay. So here is your command center. I don't think I can show
the command center.
It's Skinwalker Ranch Insider Command Center. You know what? And if Robert Bigelow had done shit like this, but they can't because of classification, and that's this is how you get extra money to do your investigation, right? So you can watch 24/7 live stream. Watch now.
Oh, it says only for insiders. It says it right there, very clear. So.
Well, I'm an insider, so I'm exclusive.
But none of us are. All right, none of us are.
They'll probably get kind of mad if I show it on a live stream.
I think they might. Yeah, I mean, breaching the.
We're promoting it though.
We're promoting it. There you go.
Yeah. Interesting, and they have live streams or videos.
Yeah.
So after is it after it goes live? Then they do like a live stream.
So look.
Yeah.
The dates are
kinda-
the day that the episode comes out.
Here's the only
Oh, that's
bummer.
cool.
I used to watch it on Hulu,
Mhm.
and there was no ads, but now I have to watch it on History, and
Ugh.
So many ads.
freaking ads, dude.
Ugh.
And they're all like Pfizer, freaking, or like menstruation. I don't care about anything. I hate ads. I hate commercial TV. I know I'm
Yeah.
on YouTube. Yeah, but I'm also I joined the premium, so I don't have to do that.
They're also shorter. They're like 15 seconds.
Totally
I
off the
don't-
subject, by the way. But I have to know this because my kid told me this, and I don't see ads on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen of the chat, who I love very much, are they really doing 15-second non-skippable ads now?
Non-skippables.
Non-skippable.
I
If
don't
that
know.
is the case, please tell me, and I will.
I haven't seen it.
I will get rid of them because I have the power to get rid of ads on my videos. But 15-second unskippable ads is ridiculous. That is no way, no freaking way.
Oh,
There's a
chat's
lot of
saying yes.
yeses.
There's
Wow.
Oh shit! All right, why didn't anybody tell me?
That's ridiculous.
Oh God, I'm
Wow.
sorry. Okay, I'll fix that. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I
I'll
haven't
take
seen
the
them. I
fix.
use YouTube a lot. I pop into people's streams and like watch a lot of different videos. I have yet to come across a 15-second ad unskippable. Every
my
ad I
God.
see. Although I gotta say though, the internet rules in Europe are crazy. Like every single website has to ask you before taking any information from you, like legally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every single time I go to any website, a little thing pops up like, "Do you consent to us taking your data?" And I just go, "Nope." And
I like that
it's
And they
option.
probably take
Yeah.
it anyway.
well, I
mean-
also have Brave and the combination of Brave and the rules here. So I have a feeling that's probably why I don't get 15-second
God,
ads
that
unskippables.
explains so much what's going on right now. All right. Again, I'll take the hit. Bless your hearts. Nobody has complained to me about it like once. But I will fix that. Okay.
But you
Mhm.
know what?
About that.
I gotta say though, if I see an ad and it's someone, if you get support from it, and it's like it's directly supporting you. It's like a free super chat.
It
With
Yeah.
it's
is-
15 seconds of your time. I mean,
my
it's a very
videos are made not to be interrupted by 15 seconds. Like
wait
I-
in
Oh,
the
yeah,
middle
Oh,
in the
that's
middle of a
Hitler.
video.
yeah,
Some do.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh hell no,
Yeah.
definitely not.
no.
Because like it's worth it at the beginning because it's the flow of the video. If you get interrupted in the middle, you're like, ugh,
Yeah, that's annoying.
sour
Definitely.
taste in your
And
mouth.
we do have the power to take them out. I took a bunch out. I took all of them out of a video that got demonetized, and I went back and there's still ads running, but YouTube said they can do that. So,
Oh, rude.
all right. Sorry for that little sidebar, but my kid was like, "Yeah, Dad, those 15-second ads are getting annoying." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah,
15
Dad.
ads?" I'm like I have no power over that.
You should get family premium plan.
I did. I did
Why
now.
was
I
he-
didn't know he wasn't
Oh.
on the premium plan. So I'm like, I'll put you on the premium plan, kiddo.
Aw.
He's a good boy. All right, so back to this.
Is he your favorite? Is that why?
He's my favorite son. Yeah, the oldest one can screw off. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Damn, he's watching right now. Like, damn, Dad.
He doesn't watch.
He don't watch it.
He don't watch. The younger one does. He watches all. He knows all you guys. He knows all you guys.
Hi.
What's that?
Ranch Revelations. Oh, it's just called Ranch Revelations.
Kind of want to watch it now.
It's like the podcast after the show.
I think it'd be fun
Cool.
to see their personalities not so produced and edited.
True.
Yeah. Well, Travis Taylor was a perfect gentleman when we met him, like super nice. And I wasn't, because I wasn't sure if there's going to be a season 4. And I'm like, is there a season 4? He's like, oh yeah. This is, he goes, it's a big hit. we're premiering in April. And there's going to be more. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm stoked.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, if you want to be a Skinwalker Ranch insider, I can't remember how much it was. I think it was like $15 or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Support the research.
Support the research or not. It's completely up to you. But this episode, kind of a dud.
It was.
It was.
Yeah, it
hopefully
was.
next week there will be a better episode than that. Because I do like there is very few things on this earth, which really sucks because there used to be a bunch of shows I liked and I'd want to watch them like right away. This is like the only show I want to watch like when it airs.
That's sad.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? I mean, it's
Yeah, it's
really
sad.
sad. It's really sad.
I don't remember the last time I watched TV with ads, like regular
It's brutal,
television.
dude.
Sports?
And no,
I've been
I don't
unplugged-
really watch sports.
I've been unplugged since I got rid of sports. Since the Chargers moved to LA, that's when I unplugged because the last thing I kept my satellite for football. When they left, I'm like, I'm done. Unplugged in 2017. Never look back. Don't miss it at all. Can't stand ads. I did get the misses into the Grand Tour and Clarkson's farm in one night. So
Oh.
I rule, by the way.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. There you go.
Mhm.
You got WG for $20. The great WG. What's up, brother? Can't wait to see you in June. Fun fact. In Blowing Rock, North Carolina, just outside of Boone, there is a mysterious natural gravitational anomaly, a mystery hill where balls roll upwards and water flows uphill. 4 other vortexes are supposedly in North Carolina as well. Yes, there is the mystery spot in Northern California, but I think that's more of a optical illusion than anything else. But there are anomalies. There's legit magnetic anomalies all over the place, and it has something to do with rock, with granite, with a lot of things.
But water flows uphill and balls roll upwards, up the hill. How does that make any sense?
And dogs and cats live together.
That
I want to check it out. Well, I'll be in North Carolina very soon.
Check it out.
Oh, I want to check that out too.
Yep. Oh, who do we have coming next week?
Yeah. We got Ben from Uncharted X.
Ben from Uncharted X.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Coming up in the world. Jimmy's going to come back after that. Then who knows? We're going to talk to an Asheville. And I don't know. Maybe I can finagle something at Contact in the Desert. I'm just going there as a dorky fan. But you never know. You never. Maybe I can get.
You can never know who you're going to meet there.
Going on. I would be just. I'd be so happy. These are my rock stars.
I get to watch a bunch of Uncharted X videos. I have already seen a bunch. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just, I'm for work. I got to watch some Uncharted X.
I know it's such a hard job.
I love our job.
By the way, thank you everyone for. I mean, I'm super grateful that yes, part of work is watching Ben's videos, which are spectacular, absolutely spectacular. Great editing. He's got a great voice, and you'll come away informed and entertained. Watch his Labyrinth videos, kind of like my all-time favorite. The Egyptian Labyrinth.
I was in the middle of that. I haven't finished watching that one.
Dude, that is a crazy story. It is sad because I
gotta finish. Hold on.
Fracking found it. They found it, and this is it's something that's as impressive, if not a little more impressive, than the pyramids. And they can't excavate it, and there's kind of a legit reason. It's for farming. It's water. They dammed up the Nile, and the water table's going up, but you can't excavate it, or would deviate some of the water that people need to feed themselves. So I mean, that's kind of a good reason, but it's it's an unjust world, ladies and gentlemen. Life is not fair. Diego Salazar for 450 Argentinian pesos. I'm going to guess on that, Diego.
So, yeah.
Here we have Cerro Uritorco. It is said an underground city from another dimension named Erks, E-R-K-S, is down there. It has a portal that brings ships into our dimension, mostly new age cuckoo stuff. But well, in Argentina, I don't know about Argentina, but I know in Brazil, there is a lot of caves. There's miles and miles and miles of caves. And there's always, there's an old Art Bell episode I'm trying to remember from 30 years ago where they talked about it. where they talked about alien bases under there too. But I know Argentina is not Brazil. Thank you. All right. I'm gonna read a couple more soups, then we're gonna get to Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
You know, did you notice it's a pretty diverse school?
Yeah.
In Zimbabwe.
Yeah, it was.
Pretty
I noticed
diverse
that.
school. Did you notice those kids seem to be getting along pretty well?
Yeah.
Perfectly lovely kids.
Well, they probably weren't taught to focus on
And hate each other.
on any of that.
They're like,
Yeah.
hey, go to school together. They all look like they're friends. They hung out.
Yeah, they all seem cool.
They all seem really cool.
I wonder, because you know how like South Africa was colonized by the Dutch? Was that something similar maybe with Zimbabwe?
Maybe it sounded British to me, but there might have been some Dutch there. There's two of the girls sounded American, or at least Canadian. At least
They were
North
Canadian,
American,
yeah.
like North American. But I just noticed that the kids look like they were all getting along. They look like nice kids, and it was a nice diverse group in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Totally strange. WG has gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships for $25. Thank you, WG. And Tricky has gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships for you all out there to nab up for $25. Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. GJJ for $20. 1.6 gigahertz is the normal communication spectrum. Not a big deal. They mention that, and it is a normal communication spectrum, but it's not supposed to be a signal coming from nowhere in the middle of a ranch.
That isn't always there, and it
Yeah.
happens in specific times. Like it'll some immediately it starts broadcasting and then it goes away.
Yeah, it's like
not
when
like
they
constant.
dig, when they fly over the triangle. And then Thomas, that guy, gets a headache too when that signal sometimes happens. I don't know, or at least in the last episode.
He gets headaches a lot. Well, because he had a horrible injury. Something happened to him on the ranch, and this is before the series started. But he ended up in the emergency room, and his skin was peeling away from his skull. He had like an abscess in there, like some fluid or whatever going on.
And the doctor couldn't explain why.
And the doctor could not explain why.
That's weird.
Buford T. Justice for $19.99 says the only problem with that, Gary, is that whatever is there has an intelligence to it. The 1.6 signal is the key. They need to alternate different signals towards the anomaly. I believe they've done that. And they've also recorded the signal, because it's not just the gigahertz. It's the signal itself that they recorded. They went to that radio station, and it was messing with the radio station. So, I mean, could there be a military explanation? Absolutely. They had a Black Hawk helicopter fly over. So, and it came from Salt Lake City, right? But then it landed somewhere else.
I don't remember the military base that the governor mentioned. If he did mention
In like a different season, maybe?
Oh no, that was the Attorney General. The Attorney General.
It was the Attorney General who said that. Oh, okay.
The Attorney General, and he's like, we got the helicopter path, but they didn't say what they were. But they started out from one place and landed in another.
Yep, some Black Hawk helicopter, very distinguishable sound.
Honestly, it could have just been going in some sort of maybe training or moving that they don't have to report, because whatever, it's the military, see some rockets going off and be like, what the hell was that? And then like go over to like see, oh, it's a bunch of guys shooting rockets in the air. All right, we're out of here. Because they just hung around for like 5-10 minutes and then left.
And that could be a possibility, but they've been shooting off rockets so much, you think they would tell everyone around. I can't see them doing that, because I mean, that's a nice quiet area.
Right. But if a pilot has never taken that route before, didn't know about this place,
and
just
he's like
flying through. What the hell was that?
What was that? Good point. Colin Walker for $4.99. Hey, Gary, do you answer emails yourself or do others help you out with that? I might have something really good to tell you about the near future. Yeah, I look at them and my wife looks at them, which is just as good as me looking at them. So, yeah, send it away. I'll see it, or she'll make sure I see it.
Yeah.
Quantum Sledgehammer for $10.59. Hail, Gary, Adam, and X-Ray Girl. Love the show. Scenario. You're in an isolated location by yourself. You see what can only be described as a UFO landing somewhat near you. Do you run towards it or away? I run towards it.
Yep.
I think y'all
Towards
know
it.
that I would run away. I'm a big baby, though.
I'd probably be freaked out, but it's like, ooh, this is once in a lifetime. Like,
Curiosity did kill the cat.
it did.
Yeah,
I
and I
recall.
think
Wow.
that's like a evolutionary thing. You know, the people are scared of snakes for a reason. I'm scared of flying aliens. I'm not curious enough to find out what's going on.
Bad
I'd have
Adam-
to know.
I'd have to know, dude.
I'd regret it for the rest of my life if I ran away from
Well,
that.
like I've been just dying for an experience, but it would suck to have the full one. Close encounters
Probes.
of the third kind, not the fourth kind or the fifth kind. Okay.
I mean, they seem to be doing work on cow anuses, so who knows what they're working on next, right?
Right. Bad Adam 12 for $5. X-Ray Girl. Great Generation Zero stream today. A couple of
Thank
us were thinking that Star Trek Bridge Crew would be a fun game to stream for you guys. Ooh, that would be fun.
I don't know
virtual
what that
reality
game's
game?
about, but I'm down for it. If the group wants it, it'll happen.
Do you have VR? I think it's a PlayStation VR game. I actually have it.
I mean,
You're-
I
you're
play
virtu-
VR,
in
but it would be
virtual, you're
hard
not-
to stream.
Oh, that's a good point. How
I
do
don't
you
have a green
stream VR
screen.
game?
I've seen
Huh.
people stream VR. It's
How do you not have a green screen?
no, but
Yeah.
like big enough for my whole body
Oh,
so that they can green screen the game so you can see what's going on.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you just get, all you need is just behind you because you're sitting in whatever station. It's not like you're walking around. It's bridge crew, so you're actually sitting on the bridge of the Enterprise and you're flying around.
Oh, we actually get the oh, that'd be fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look into it. I might just play that offline though. Won't stream
Right.
it.
So Zimbabwe, 1994.
Well, but before we talk about that, I gotta say the documentary, The Phenomenon, which is the one that a large chunk of this documentary features this school in Zimbabwe, which you've actually mentioned before on the show, and so this was a lot more information about it. But overall, the span of time that this documentary goes through, it starts way back,
Yeah.
like a century ago. And it just goes through all these different government employees, pilots that doubted the other pilots, and then it happened to them, and they're like, "Oh wait, actually, I believe you now because I saw it now." The guy who described something, and then someone else drew a picture of it and said, "Is this what it was?" And it was like, "That's exactly what they were describing." Very, very interesting stuff throughout the years. So I thought that was really cool to see how the difference then of how big of a deal it was. Like, holy shit, the entire world was kind of like in awe of like these events that were going on. And now it happens, and I'm like, whatever, UFO. I just found that very interesting how different the world seemed when these kind of things started happening, and that farm, the guy and the girl, the farmers, took that picture, and like it
in
went
Oregon?
great. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
went crazy, and they
Oh,
weren't
okay.
trying to make money off it.
No.
They were just like, I don't know, like this is what we saw. I told my husband to get a friggin' camera, and he took a picture of it, and there it is.
And they were like, and I don't mean this as an insult at all, salt of the earth people, honest people. And that's one thing you have to ask is it's not a YouTube channel. This is a farmer and his wife in
Right.
rural Oregon in the 50s or 50s.
I don't remember when it was.
50s, late 40s, early 50s. And they got two of the best pictures you can get of a
Right.
UFO. And they didn't ask for a penny. So why would they fake that? What's the point?
Photoshop. They photoshopped it.
They photoshopped it. No. No, there was a legit uptick in UFO sightings after we tested the atom bomb and dropped 2 of them. And it makes sense. That would be if you're observing a planet and they make a technological leap that could kill everybody on the planet. More importantly, if they don't kill everybody on the planet, they start advancing and they can become a threat to somewhere else. If you have that technology to get it that far in space, you're going to assess every threat. You are. And maybe they've, obviously, I think if you've made it that far, you've moved past blowing yourself up on a planet.
Well, what if I was always worried about us using that technology and maybe actually ripping a hole in space-time? Like you said, like this portal and Skinwalker Ranch, like, is it a portal? Maybe
did we?
all those testings, where were they done?
Did we? I mean, like
Nevada?
Like
who knows? All the uptick of them coming around, like maybe they're trying to prevent us from actually doing something that would maybe completely crumble this universe.
Oppenheimer.
I can't wait to see that.
For Oppenheimer, there's a scene where Matt Damon's like, he's like, so what are the chances we set the atmosphere on fire? He's like, next to nothing. He almost zero. What do you? Oppenheimer says almost zero, and the guy's like, he's like, what do you want? I want zero. That's what I want. I want zero chance. And I brought this up before. The shit we're messing around with CERN. They're making little black holes, and it's like
CERN. I was about to mention it, man.
What are the chances they become big black holes? Well, Michio Kaku could not say zero. He's like, it's really almost impossible. But Art Bell kept asking me, but you're saying there's a chance. It's like,
right. Yes. A black hole going out of control would suck us into it. The Earth would go boom and be gone. We wouldn't even know. We'd be all dead instantly.
I understand. There is no zero in science. That's true. But then maybe there's just some shit we shouldn't fuck with.
I agree.
Don't fly too close to the sun.
That's right. Unless you're in the Eternals, then I wish all the characters would have flown into the sun at the end of that.
All of Disney's Marvel.
It was trending on Twitter. Like some people were like, oh, I don't know where that came from, but that like all this like fake love for the Eternals. It's like
the Eternals.
The Eternals is like
wasn't that like years ago that came out?
It's randomly it's bots.
Of course.
Magnum Norse for $50.
Hey.
Cheers. Nice. I don't understand the lack of respect for the first Star Trek movie. The entire premise, Voyager 1 creating its own intelligence and creating it, going to a machine planet and becoming sentient. And then creating a massive computer in space is incredible. Prove me wrong. No, you're preaching to the choir. That is the most Star Trek movie of all the Star Trek movies. That is the most Star Trek thing they did. I love it. The director's cut is fantastic. Get it on 4K. There's a special box set for it. It is a wonderful movie.
Which movie?
Love it. Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the first one.
The first one.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen that in a long time. Is that where they find Voyager 1 somewhere?
Yeah, V'ger.
Yeah, I have to watch that. I haven't seen that
Douglas
in a long time.
Special effects. It's great.
My dad had the box with the he probably still has the VHS somewhere. The box set with all the six movies, 5 movies.
There's 6.
I don't 6. Okay, yeah, 6.
Well, they did a box set for 5, and then they later did one with 6 with the Enterprise in it. Garrett's got a copy of it. I used to. I don't know where it is now, but Douglas Trumbull did the special effects. They're spectacular. He's the one who did the special effects for Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Blade Runner.
Oh.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I didn't like Blade Runner when I was growing up, and my friend Carl convinced me to rewatch it. He's like, you got to watch it with new eyes. Go back and watch it again and just take everything out and just rewatch it. It's a good movie. I can't believe I didn't like it when I was younger. It's got a very slow pace, and I think that's what threw me off as a kid. I don't know. It's dark and gloomy and the pace was kind of slow. But watching it now, I'm like, "Man," I watched it last year, or maybe when the new one came out, and he was like, "Before you watch the new one, watch the old one."
Maybe
I
it's
was like,
the
"All right,
appreciable nuances that you didn't understand when you were a kid. I like
The
to
yeah,
movie,
find a lot of
the movie
movies are
was
like that.
light years ahead of its time
true,
while using old school noir. I thought it was the coolest thing I ever saw, and I saw it in theater. I saw it in an empty theater when everybody hated it because it had Harrison Ford, it had Indiana Jones in it. So I was like, oh, I convinced my mom to take me to this rated R movie when I was 12. Me and my friend
nice."
went. She read a freaking book with a flashlight in there because she didn't care. And I walked out of it going like, I was like, that is the greatest thing I've ever fucking seen. And nobody liked it. I'm like, what? Really? I kept everything. Like there wasn't a lot to collect. I kept everything, the sketchbooks, everything
Cool.
from that movie.
What'd
I
you
even
think
got
of the
the
newer
board.
one?
I fucking hated it.
Did you?
I hated it. Yeah. Because it answered quite like that. It should never been a sequel. You should absolutely, the mystery of Deckard being he's a human, by the way. If you really think about it, Razorfist has a great video on this that breaks it all down. But if you really think about it, if he's a replicant, then it's a fucking pointless story because it's robots helping other robots. And
Right.
it's not like the human with the robot, And Roy Batty just sacrificed himself to save another robot who's killing robots.
Mm.
He's human. And I know Ridley Scott changed his mind 3 times since then. Fuck that. And Harrison Ford, I think, has the final word, and he says Deckard is human. And in the book, he's human. So there you go.
All right.
Robots in disguise. All right. Zimbabwe.
Here we are.
There is a sighting back in 1994, and it wasn't. This isn't a sighting. This is the segment and phenomenon that's called contact,
Right.
where an alien made contact. Now there was 3 days of sightings in 1994. They even show in the documentary video of one of the sightings, and then they have the Zimbabwe news, but it's also the BBC. Once the sighting happened, the BBC sent somebody there right away to talk to the kids, and like the kids had the sighting and then were immediately thrown in front of the media. So they never had time to process this. Now, yes, the children saw it. And, when we get later on, there might have been stuff that's imprinted in their head. And this is like, 5th grade, 4th, 5th grade, 6th grade children trying to interpret something they saw. But there was multiple craft outside of their school. And then one of them landed just outside the playground, and they just ran up like kids. They ran up to it. One girl was within 3 feet of what is a creature she said was or alien that was the size of a 6th grader.
Right.
Didn't talk to him, but they all described the same creature. It was all wearing black. It was completely sealed in like what looked like a black wetsuit. Had a giant head, big eyes.
That was the one thing that I noticed, because all of these kids were individually interviewed in front of the camera, right? And one thing that they all mentioned was the eyes. They were like, those eyes were not human. They were black. They were long. They were different. They were big. And each kid had their own version of the same type of eyes. And it's like, all right, they're all these kids didn't get together and go, all right, we're gonna tell these people that they had black eyes and they were big. It's like, no, these kids seemed dazed. They seemed like kind of out of it. Like, I don't really like, you know what I mean? When something happens and you're kind of like still processing it,
It's
you
like
can tell.
you survived a car accident, not a horrible one, but
Right.
And somebody's like, so how does that make you feel? Describe the car accident. You're like, you're still processing the information. And
Exactly.
Yeah, they're in shock.
And as they interviewed them as adults later, they said as adults, yeah, they were just on us and we had no time to process this information. I'm like, that's probably the best time to interview them. Plus, they were interviewed by the late, great John Mack. Now, for those of you who've been UFO, do I say fans?
Ufologists?
Ufologists.
No, is that an actual thing?
I think it is an actual thing. I think there's certain
okay.
people who are, I would call, like Richard Dolan is a ufologist. I would
Okay.
say. But those of you who've been in the UFOs your entire life, you know who John Mack is. Okay. Or was. John Mack was a Pulitzer Prize winning psychiatrist who I think got into the alien abduction thing, but he was there he was a great investigator. Died in a really mysterious, tragic way. Right around a time, I don't know if you all remember this. If you listen to Art Bell back in the early 2000s, do you remember all the UFO? There was like 4 or 5 UFO investigators who died within a year of each other in very mysterious ways. John Mack was one of them. It was an accident. He was in London, walked out in the street, probably with the American, you got to be careful because the lanes are on the other side if you're in America. Right. Walked out in the street and got hit by a car.
Oh no.
2004. It's very sad. So that's he passed away, but he interviewed all these kids. I think he tried his best not to lead them into anything. Just ask them questions. Plus you're interviewing 5 or 6-year-old kids, their parents are there,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd let my kid be in it. I'd have to be at the time. I'd have to be there in the room or something. But yeah, and they're pretty good interviews, and it's really chilling. Now, this is James Fox's talent as a director for the documentary. The music is just right. But the way, like you said, Adam, the way the kids are responding to the interview is kind of creepy.
Yeah,
you can tell something.
Yeah, there's something up. Like, obviously they were just dazed. I think that if it was the day before, you said the day after is when they started getting interviewed. So
Yeah.
if it was
Almost
the day
immediately,
before, and in 1994 too, it's like, man, who knows what they probably went home and just tried to have a regular day. Go to dinner, have dinner, and get to work, and go to school the next day, and then suddenly you're being bombarded. That was probably a daze also, because being in a little school of 4th graders in Zimbabwe, you don't have cameras in front of you, and no one really does in 4th grade. No one's got like a professional studio lights and a big camera, and someone's asking you questions about this maybe the craziest thing that's ever happened to you in your entire life, which 4, 5, I don't know how 4th graders, like 8-year-olds, that's probably crazy. That's probably the craziest thing that's ever happened to him. A freaking thing flew down, landed with some alien that popped out and was looking at him 3 feet away from you.
Yeah, I think the other crazy part is when you go home with those types of stories, what are your parents telling you? It's like, that probably didn't happen. And then
that didn't happen.
They're like, oh, you're a miserable friend, sure. And then you get interviewed about this, and you're like, okay, now I'm getting conflicting things, and my parents brushed it under the rug. And so how do I process this? And I don't know if they did. Some of them, at least.
Well, they brought some of them back as adults, and their story didn't change. And this was a lot of kids. And John Mack wasn't the only one to interview him. It was we just saw the John Mack interviews. We didn't see the BBC.
Is that what we saw in the documentary?
Yeah,
the John Mack
interviews.
Okay.
And
it was. I found it interesting when they were brought back, and a bunch of them were like, "I'm still feeling it. Like there's like an anxiety that I'm getting right now from being here, because it didn't seem any different." They said, like, this looks exactly the way it did when we were here, and that feeling is still there. It's like, oh man, they probably still have never processed it.
No, because a lot of them said they never talked about it. They didn't want to deal with the bullshit.
Yeah, one girl said, I didn't want to be looked at like some sort of a kook.
Yep. So again, we have people who have not profited off this. There were kids,
right?
And there was a bunch of kids. Could they have made up the story? Sure, except for all the sightings that everybody saw around that time. Some of the faculty believed them, some of them did not. one of the school, the one who's the head school mistress now, didn't believe him back then. They brought her on camera and she, said, "Hey, I feel bad for not believing the kids. I should have believed the kids." Yeah, so it must have been stressful on the kids. The thing is, like, I think James Fox mentioned, he said this about the Brazil film that he just did too, which I highly recommend you watch, about basically the Roswell of Brazil. What is the
I
name?
don't know
of
about that.
Oh, it's his latest one. What the hell was it called again? Hang on, I'll figure it out. Give me just a second.
Moment of Contact.
Moment of Contact. That's it. Yeah. So that's the we can do a show on that one. That one's weird. But he was also on the Zimbabwe thing. He was like, he had never heard of it. He's like, what the hell? I remember hearing about it years ago, but I didn't know like how extensive the interviews were, and the kids drawing pictures, and they're all describing the same creature. Now, again, the creature didn't say anything, but when some of the kids made eye contact, they were getting information in their head. Now they were taking it as, and this is where you don't know if a kid is telling you what an adult wants to hear, like that. That has to get brought up. But they were saying that the alien was imprinting that, like, there's some kind of technology that's going to be a danger to us sometime, and we need to stop, or we're going to be ruining the earth. But then as an adult, I would go, motherfucker, you came here on a UFO and you want to lecture us about technology? Shut up. But
now we have a device in Europe that is creating theoretical black holes.
Is it a specific technology? One of the girls talked about the environment, but I think that's probably, to me, that's telling an adult what they want to hear about their stuff, because I would answer back, there's more trees now than there's ever been on the planet, blah blah blah, stuff like that. But as far as seeing it, they all describe the same thing. So I would say go see it for yourself, decide for yourself. I think it's pretty fascinating, and this is a great documentary, especially if you're just getting into UFOs, or if you want a greatest hits. Earlier on, they show one of the best UFO pictures like ever, is that Polaroid that dude takes. And one thing that corroborates Bob Lazar, when he said, when the UFO at Area 51, when it took off, it goes sideways and it flies like that. So we just had footage of, for one, we've seen it's not the Tic Tac, but it's the other one that came out in 2017 when the government released it. The UFO going on its side and flying this way. We just had a picture out of some video out of a plane that some girl got, of a video flying by the plane. It's on its side, and this picture is has the Polaroid that was taken. God, it was during the Australian sighting, another sighting at a school, by the way. It was around that sighting, and he got a picture of it. There's a reflection off the thing. It's super clear, and it's on its side. So that's how they fly. Crazy.
What do you think, chat? Do you think there are aliens flying around us?
I feel like they don't have to fly specifically. They probably are around us already.
I think they're cloaked most of the time.
That's something an alien would say, X-ray.
Yeah.
I mean, I am from Canada.
Girl.
I am from Canada.
I think they're here. I think they're in our oceans.
I thought there was a chilling moment when I was watching the documentary, and when they were talking about the whole like communication between the kid and the alien. It's like I was, in this getting information from them, having this communication. As soon as I turned my eyes away, it's like I snapped into reality, and I realized what was happening and what was going on, and I couldn't speak to it, or it couldn't speak to me anymore. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Well, that might be the theory of a couple of people, including the late great Philip Corso and many, many others, is that the Greys are biological drones.
What do you mean by that?
They're not the actual alien. They're manufactured biological drones because they got no parts. They don't poop. They don't pee.
They don't have to eat.
Bob Lazar described the inside of a UFO. There's no bathrooms. There's nothing.
Oh,
So
interesting.
maybe they're biologically created drones
For the sole purpose of exploring the universe.
and being basically, you know.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because traveling space is hard. It's very difficult. Even if you were, even with wormholes, there would be some distance you would have to travel to certain, like it would just be difficult. Or, like when they, with the Brazilian Roswell, I don't want to get too far off on that one, but one of the things, what happened was an alien ship crashed in Brazil. It was witnessed by multiple people. There were 2 aliens that were running around a town that were witnessed by multiple people, and they all gave off this like horrid ammonia-like smell, and they were dying basically in our atmosphere.
Interesting.
And one of them was taken back to a hospital where they did some X-rays through a body bag, but there was an ammonia smell that just it not only lingers in the room, it lingers in your nose. Like you can't get this, you smell it for a long time. And that's the one thing that each witness said over and over again.
Freaky.
That's another James Fox documentary. It's very
That sounds like we got to talk about that.
I feel like we have a next topic.
Yeah. Maybe not next week, but
cat piss. Yeah, imagine it smelling cat piss like all the time.
no thanks.
Oh,
No,
no, thank
thanks.
you.
My cat
Lingering.
goes out his door and goes into the forest somewhere. It's wonderful.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I am. It's amazing.
I don't have a cat, and that solves that problem.
Yeah, that works too.
I have dogs.
But you got to take them out, don't you?
I just got to open a door for them.
I don't even have to do that. Ha!
So something else in the documentary that kind of piqued my interest was John Mack. I don't know much about his career, but they kind of said that his career, he lost a lot of credibility, including the guy who was doing the BBC stuff, Tim. So I guess, did he ever get back his career, or like how did that?
No, he just went full on in the UFOs
Mm.
and said, screw it, screw my career. And some people do that. Robert Schoch, Robert Schoch still teaches classes, but he's the one who says the Sphinx is 20,000 years old based on, and maybe older, based on the evidence that he found. He's a geologist, and he still teaches and stuff, but he's also treated as an outcast because
so weird though. I mean,
heretic. Yeah.
Listening to the arguments with the water erosion, it makes sense. I mean, you listen to any one of those guys break it down. It's actually accurate. It makes sense that it could be that old.
You go to these megalithic sites and you see clear differences in the construction. You see the older stuff is much better and it gets worse over time. And they go, it's all the same people. They just got super lazy halfway through the job. And it's like,
Bullshit.
no, you don't go from like uber precise to, fuck it.
Right.
Scotch tape it towards the end. Like, no, that's not how
you
humans
get
work.
better.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I want to talk to Jimmy about the Kemet, because he mentions it every so often. He'll talk about it. But one of the videos that I watched of his recently, he talks about how the Egyptians were like, we didn't build any of this. That was the Kemet, which translates to the people who were here before. And I'm like, well, who the fuck are those people?
Well,
why was I taught that it was the Egyptians? I mean, obviously, if they lived in Egypt, they would be Egyptian.
Kemet were the legacy of a greater civilization that we'll call Atlantis. Okay,
Atlantis,
the mother civilization that there might have been more than one of at the time.
Yep.
It's hard to say. Once we figure out how to date stone. Let me read some of this. It's from the mainstream media ish, so it'll probably be very skeptical, but this will give you a little. A new documentary considers the 1994 Ariel school UFO incident. A new documentary, Ariel Phenomenon, considers whether an unidentified flying object actually landed near Zimbabwe school in September of 1994. Most UFOs are balloons, misidentified aircraft, secret military aircraft, drones, or weather phenomena. But what happens when a truly unknown UFO, an apparently intelligently controlled machine of exceptionally advanced technology, appears? Which they believe is, I've heard anywhere from all the sightings, everything, and we get thousands a year, by the way, to the corrupt MUFON, or that's one thing, is we need to centralize our data with, like, MUFON's okay, they're fine, but they're not perfect. We need something better, something, because if you go to their site, you can like look up like some of the stuff. It's impossible. It is so archaic. But yeah, they say it's somewhere between 5 and 1%. Well, even if it's 1%, what the fuck is it?
Right.
What the hell? They asked one of the little girls in Zimbabwe. They John Mack asked, "Hey, if they came back, what would you ask them?" And it was a great. She's like, "Why are you here?"
Right. and what do you want with us?
What do you want with us? And I'm like, that is a good question.
It is.
Like, why are you here? Like, why all the secrecy? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Ariel phenomenon, however, focuses on more than 60 middle school students who claimed a saucer-shaped UFO landed just beyond their playground at a school near Harare. I'll just say Harare. In 1994, the mass sighting has since become part of a modern UFO lore, weaving contemporary interviews of the now adult students with archived video. Randall Nickerson's work suggests that something did indeed happen on that day in 1994. The question is, what? 60 kids got together to fuck with adults to this very day. Kept the secret forever. It's the greatest prank of all time. And if they actually did that, they'd have my respect. But
but that didn't happen.
That did not.
I don't think so.
No, one of the kids would go, "We fucking made it up."
By this point, hell yeah.
Yes, they would. Was it a prank with influential children guiding their contemporaries to an elaborate hoax? Was it an incident of mass fucking hysteria? Okay, well, we know that's an actual thing because we all lived through COVID. Did a helicopter land and the children decide that they had seen a strange UFO, or did the student? If a helicopter land, don't you think the teachers would have heard a helicopter land?
Yeah, exactly.
They're
loud. Really loud.
They are loud.
Did the students actually see a UFO of truly exotic form? Well, any UFO would be pretty fucking exotic, wouldn't it?
True. What's a non-exotic UFO look like?
Where's your basic bitch UFO landing?
Starbucks.
Accurate.
Nickerson believes himself is a victim of UFO abduction, suggesting as much on the Oprah Winfrey show. This will lead some believe his work is biased to reinforce his own preconceptions of what UFOs might be, but I think that would be unfair. Yeah. What happens with a lot of, I'm not saying this is the case with Nickerson. Okay. It's just hitting my mind now. I think there are some ufologists who did some like really legit work. That legit work dried up. They elaborated towards the end, which is unfortunate. Linda Moulton Howe is probably a great example of that. This is just my opinion, by the way. I think she did some of the best work on cattle mutilations that out there. Like, she was an expert on it. Then she started getting into like weird hidden bases in Antarctica. And as much as I'd love to believe that, and I think there might be something weird there, but I haven't seen any evidence. I've heard a lot of stories.
About that. All right, let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
You guys talked about the pole shifting a little bit.
Yep.
With Jimmy, and I know he's been talking about it, and I'm very interested in it as well. And the Earth with, I think it's Myrrh. There used to be in the Pacific Ocean.
Yes.
Myrrh, right? Okay, so there was this massive continent called Myrrh in the Pacific, and we're told that the Earth, all of the different continents used to be, what was it, Pangea, right? And then they started splitting, and they just moved perfectly to here. But it's like, all right, now we're finding out, well, actually, there might have been a large continent in the Pacific called Mer. Then there's these other continents. There's another continent off of New Zealand, or actually, New Zealand was a part of it. I don't remember the name of it. And then like UK, England used to be Doggerland, huge, much larger. So like we're finding out all this stuff.
Dude, they just found a road in the Mediterranean that's at the bottom of the Mediterranean. That's
like, what is
7,000 years
this?
old. Yeah,
Right, exactly. So we're told like this is what the Earth looks like before, when in reality, maybe the poles were in a different position, where Antarctica might not have actually been where the South Pole would be, where it's super cold all the time. I see no reason why these huge things, like if the Sphinx is 26,000 years old, right, and the original equator was, I don't remember the name of that line. We talked about it, where Easter Island, it cuts through, it almost hits the Richard structure, goes through.
it goes through
Oh,
all these famous sites. Yeah,
right.
it was, I forgot what the name
What's
of
the
it
name
was.
of that? I don't remember the name of it. But if that was the original equator, let's just say that would shift Antarctica from the south up north. It would be a lot warmer.
Well,
Maybe there was more things there that we don't know about.
Explain why was there ice caps over North America and Canada, but not Siberia?
Exactly.
Why was Siberia warmer? Why was it filled with mammoth?
Because that was the true North Pole.
Yeah, I could be. That's something I certainly think about.
And that would make sense with that the shifted equator would make that more of the North Pole than where it is now in the middle of the Arctic.
I don't know what that somebody's mentioned in the ad. I don't know. I'll get rid of it. Sorry.
Yeah, what is that ad?
I don't freaking know.
It looked pretty
yeah, because I'm looking
phallic. Yeah, what are you looking up?
Oh, I'm just big booty fucking stretch pants to wear.
Skin dresses. This is actually what he wears off stream. He's actually wearing it underneath this Skinwalker shirt.
I look at is sideshow toys.
Oh my.
And collectible books. Okay.
Why don't you get an ad blocker? I don't understand.
Because
it's so easy. None of this would be there. It'd be gone. Anyway.
Yeah. But I think it would be unfair. For a start, this documentary rests heavily on archival interviews of the children taken from the days and weeks following the reported sighting. The similarity in their statements and the visible fear of some children as to what they saw, what they say they saw, is compelling, as is the view of their teachers, the vast majority of whom explained that they believe the children were not lying. The Ariel school report takes its place among a number of prominent mass sightings of strange UFOs involving school children in 1966. Approximately 200 children and staff reported seeing a cigar-shaped UFO land near a school in Melbourne, Australia. A similar witness reported the same from Miami, Florida school in 1967. So also did children in Britain report a UFO landing near their school in 1977, some also claiming that they have strange beings outside the craft. And there's the New Mexico sighting by the police officer, and and then the Phoenix Lights. The Phoenix Lights, that's the one I remember the most because that hit the news that like the night it happened. Art Bell talked about it. The next day we were seeing like the lights, and the military came out and said it was flares. And then everybody said they knew that was bullshit because there were multiple witnesses going, no, we saw a giant craft silently fly over our fucking house. Again, watch the documentary. I know what I saw. It's a really good one. It's older, but I think some of the older ones are better because they're taken at near the time of the actual incident, where you get clearer memories, we'll say.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the fact that the ad returned and everyone's talking about it again. The finger.
Oh no.
I'm not. I don't know about you.
Now I want to know what it is.
I ain't looking at the finger. I'm looking at that big booty right there.
Oh my.
You all look at the finger.
Well, it disappeared. It disappeared. It was the finger. It wasn't the booty.
What the hell's the finger for? What's it?
I don't know what everyone wants to know. I don't know if I want to know. I kind of do, but it's a finger hook. Some sort of finger hook.
What the hell is that?
Looks like a rebreather or some shit. I don't know.
Whatever. Unfortunately, there's no video or radar data to support the Ariel testimony because it was Zimbabwe. But the journalists first on the scene lend credibility to the student's tale. A BBC News war reporter was among them, originally skeptical. Then the grizzled journalist became convinced, and something extraordinary had occurred. In the same vein, some of Nickerson's most compelling moments include his replaying of archival interviews of the students by Harvard psychiatrist John Mack. It should be noted that Mack, who died in 2004, car crash, no, he was hit by a car, attracted controversy at Harvard for his work with purported UFO abduction reportees like Nickerson. The film can drag at times. I disagree completely. I think it's one of the better UFO documentaries ever.
It was over before I knew it, and I was like, "Oh wow, that was so much." It was so much information. That's what I would like the Secret of Skinwalker Ranch to be more like.
Oh my gosh!
Because there's way too much fluff in that shit, man.
Oh, look at the shirt on the left. It's a pineapple pizza shirt.
Oh my god! The pineapple really wants to be on there.
No, he's shh, no one has to know. While offering an insight into the the film can drag at times. It could be 20 minutes shorter. Fuck no. I totally disagree. While offering an insight into the psychological and emotional reactions that UFO witnesses often report, a factor with significant influence on the stigma affecting this subject. Nickerson's trailing of a former student who returns to the school is drawn out. Whatever. The filmmaker told Washington Examiner that he hopes his film can open up deeper inquiry into the subject matter. Which is what anybody wants to do. It's like, investigate this. Like, okay, prove us wrong. Fine. Investigate it. What the F is going on? Asked about whether he believes children saw what they saw, he responded, I have had professionals look at the interviews, law enforcement, detectives, psychologists, and grade school teachers all inform me that whatever they describing, they're telling the truth. Whatever, of course, is the great unknown here. But the success of Nickerson's work is that it leaves us with more compelling questions than answers, which is, damn it, that's good. That was actually a good article. I like it, except for the 20 minutes too long. I guess he just had to put something in, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating. It's a really fascinating subject that we could definitely look more into. We'll get since you guys are still, I don't want to call you newbies. You've been doing this show for a long time, and Adam, you've been in the UFOs for a long time. But I don't have your experience for sure. I am utterly obsessed with it and have been for 3 decades now. So I've like every night when I it takes me an hour to go to sleep. Just does. It's just fact of life. It's been the way it's been my entire life. So I pop on a book, or I pop on some old Art Bell or Randall Carlson or Graham Hancock. I try to find new lectures. I even listen to I've listened to lectures like 6 or 7 times over and over again, because like there's just the problem with ufology is there just isn't that constant flow of information. What we get is, if we're lucky, 3 compelling cases every 5 years. We get a lot of, like Secure Team. I'll watch all of his videos. We get some weird stuff. Some of it's fake. Some of it isn't. Some of it's questionable, whatever. But like occasionally we'll get something with, oh shit, like that's real. That's weird. But we get no answers with it because it's so damn random, right? But hopefully when we go to Contact in the Desert, when I go to Contact in the Desert in a little over 2 weeks. Oh, less than that.
Coming up.
About a little over 2 weeks. It just reminds me, it's like, okay, damn it, I gotta get ready to fly. So a little anxiety. It's sorry, I don't like to fly. But when we go there, hopefully we'll hear some new stuff, that we'll be able to talk about. we'll talk about your schedule, Adam. We're definitely doing a show Sunday from
Oh yeah.
the show, and if we can sneak in another one, I'd really like to do that.
Okay.
But
I actually have a question for you. Since new technology with like internet and whatnot, has UFO information been more accessible, or has it been more contradictory, or has it been harder to find more information?
I find it
there's-
to be way more accessible. You have to question everything now with deep fakes and stuff. So witness testimony matters more now than it did in the past, in my opinion, because there's a lot of people who saw shit that have no photos. But I think you actually have to go back and look at the older stuff with new eyes. You could still fake some of that shit, but the Kenneth Arnold stuff, no. Oregon, no. People who used to run nuclear silos, which have to be the most calm, cool, collected, and trustworthy people alive because they have the nuclear codes, or they have,
so.
yeah. So like,
I got the keys.
and all the stories we hear from that, what George Knapp was able to get out of Russia during that transition period from communism to whatever the hell it is now. But oligarchy, I don't know, fucking whatever you want to call it. But and we love our Russian audience members. We do, and we have them. We definitely have them. And Bob Lazar, and there seems to be every few years we get something good, and it's way more accessible now. But I also think like some of the phone video stuff we get, some people misidentify rockets all the time. I thought I saw one time, and it was a rocket launch from Vandenberg Air Force. I saw it in San Francisco, and just this fucking weird light goes up. Everybody stops, goes, "What the hell is that?" And then after about 5 minutes, we're like, "Oh, it's a rocket." Okay, whatever. But I think there is some, like, especially when you see the lights doing things like drones can't.
Yeah, that purple light, right? To bring it back to that purple light,
Yeah.
because it looked like a drone in the air.
It looked like a drone. Somebody fucking with them.
It was flashing like
I mean, they went
a
out there, and
flashlight.
there was nothing there. There was nothing there. So
They went out somewhere.
yeah.
But that light looked like it was far. It was not close to them. It wasn't on the property. It makes more sense to me that it was some people over at that lake that is about, I don't remember how far, like 5 miles away from where
Under
they are.
5 miles, yeah.
Under 5 miles away. It's like, technology exists. Even people out there might have a drone, a purple light flashing.
I just
So-
I was watching the show, and someone sent this in where as he was walking by, you saw this machine flashing that same purple light. I don't know if that's just me trying to look into it.
That's the guy on Twitter. I thought yeah,
I don't know.
it out. Like, they might have freaked themselves out on that one. I'll give them the best benefit of the doubt. Listen, on the ghost, who are the Taps guys? Remember Taps guys, the ghost guys, the reality Taps? What was
Ghost
the name?
Adventures?
Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunters.
Yeah. Their producers later came out and said that they like would tap on the roof and shit, that they would make shit.
So annoying.
So I stopped watching the ghost stuff completely after that. Once I heard that, I'm like, I'm done. I hope they're not doing that on this show. It's like
I never played my ghost video for you guys, did I?
No. What's your ghost video? What's that?
I wasn't on the show when we talked about our ghost stories. And I was saving this for when we talked about it. So on my old YouTube channel, I have Adam Crigler, like that YouTube channel, right?
Yep.
And I was doing this this shoot on the Jersey Shore in this old mortar base back in like.
Wait, you were on the Jersey Shore show?
Well, no, not the show, but
I was about to say I don't remember you.
The literal Jersey Shore, like
You're
New
on the
Jersey
Jersey
on
Shore.
the shore. There's this natural park that has an old mortar base from like 1890 when they used to have like mortars before airplanes, right? And it was like to protect this naval area. And we were doing this photo shoot there for some gig that I booked, right?
Mhm.
And there was these railroad tracks that would go into the middle of this massive hill. I don't want to say it. No, it's bigger than hill. It's like a massive, not a mountain, but whatever. In this very center of it, there was this like open concrete box that was just open to the sky, and that's where the mortars would sit because they were hidden. You couldn't see them from the water. And behind it, there was this old iron gate with like this huge freaking thing, and I was like, "That's pretty cool." And it was locked. So we're sitting there, and some rangers come in, and they're taking selfies of us, like, "Oh, this is so like, look at these guys. Oh, it's models." There was like four hot chicks that were like babes, and they were changing and shit, and like, but they don't care. Like, whatever. They're in their freaking underwear, and they're these park rangers are like,
That's
"What
right.
is this? This is crazy." And then they open the freaking, they take the big lock off, and they go in. They're looking at maps or something because I'm watching. I'm like, "Oh, what are they doing in there?" You know. And then they leave, and they forgot to lock the door, and I'm like, I'm going in there, guys.
Oh
I'm
my.
going in, and I hit record on my video, and I walk into this place, and I have my light on, and I was like, just make sure they don't lock me in. I'm going in. I want you guys to know, don't let them lock me in. Just say it. Yeah, one of the models walked in there. Just like say that, you know. And I walk in this place, right? And I go pretty deep into this place. And there's this moment where it was cold in there, but there's this moment where I felt the temperature drop, and I was like, "Okay, that's weird. I'm getting out of here now." And I was in this place, man, and I was showing a friend of mine a couple days later, and I was like, "Oh, check this shit out." I was in there, and straight up, you hear something giggle at me
Oh
when
fuck.
I right when I say, "Well, this is kind of
Mm.
creepy in here," and you hear something giggle. And I'm like, I didn't hear it when I was there. Trust me. People always
Oh.
say, like, "Oh, that's some sort of echo from like outside." It's like, nah, nah, nah. That shit's giggled. Something giggled at me right when I said it is creepy in here, and then it gets even crazier, right? Because so I'm showing everyone this giggle. I'm like, "Oh, dude, look, this ghost giggles at me." So then I'm late. It's like 3 a.m. I'm very, very quiet. I'm laying I'm just like laying on my bed, and I was showing my girlfriend at the time, like, you gotta check out this ghost video. And I play it, and like, I swear, 15 seconds after the laugh, I'm walking through this corridor. And as I walk through this corridor, it's almost like someone turns the volume knob on the white noise, the someone turns the volume up on the white noise, and you hear this freaking blood curdling scream of a woman screaming, "Oh my God." And I had never heard it before. But once I heard it, I can hear it right now. I can hear it in my head. I'm like, it's
Yeah,
playing in
I
my head.
hear it.
I know this, like
Do you have
it's crazy.
video of this?
It's on my YouTube channel.
All right, we got to find it.
Can
We'll
you find
Do
the
you want to
video?
watch it right now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
want to watch it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Of course.
I'm gonna pull this up right now.
Weirdest thing while you're pulling it up. This might not have been a ghost, but so I lived in San Diego for like a year when San Francisco locked down. We're like, fuck this place. San Diego was close to my mom, and it was a little more open than San Francisco was. So we just rented a house while we got our old house to get ready to sell and to buy the house in Texas. And it was an old like adobe house. The woman who lived there, who was in a wheelchair, died. You could see like around the door frames where her wheelchair always like nicked the door frames, so they're
Right.
just chunked away. So every freaking morning, I mentioned this on stream, so if you watch my nooners you would know, I'd walk in my studio and there's about 5 random action figures just in the middle of the fucking floor every fucking morning. And like occasionally, like these tiles would, because I did them temporarily, would pop off. So
Okay.
I discounted those. I'm talking about the action figures that were on the tiles that didn't pop off, that didn't move, and it would be super random. It would be like 2 here, 1 here, but it's never 2 together, and they'd be on the fucking floor. Now that didn't happen to me in San Francisco. Knock on wood, it hasn't happened here, like not once.
Yeah.
Happened every fucking day. Every fucking day. Every morning I'm in there going,
Weird.
what figures am I going to put on the wall now? Back on the wall. And it's like somebody, and it's not like they fell just down. They fell out. Like something went, poof, knocked them out. Now, California shakes once in a while, but like on my second to last day there, I experienced the biggest earthquake that Escondido had felt in years. It was like I was 2 miles away from the epicenter and not a fucking thing fell off my wall. So weird.
That is sus.
I think it's the action figures just want to kill me. But
It's
They
Toy
come up-
Story.
They come
not
alive.
today. Not to, okay, here we go. Oh, all right.
I'm so excited.
Okay, so I named this video it freaked me out. Right?
That's a good title.
But the reason I said it freaked me out is because I go really far into this place, right? And I was like, all right, so this is the old iron doors that I was telling you about, right?
What is this? A military base?
So this is an old mortar base.
Mortar base.
Yeah. So there's barracks in here, and it's all concrete. And I went all the way to where the barracks were, and I was like, all right. I mean, you could see like I go like into this place, and it is like really dark. So like here's these like you could see.
Is that a boxing match? That's like Tim Pool versus Botch. I'd watch that. All right.
So I'm like really far into this place, but it's right at the beginning that it happens. It's the first minute is the shit goes down. All right, let me turn it up. Okay, it's as high as it can go.
That would be properly creepy. Holy shit.
Oh my god, why it's like an underground bunker.
Okay, so there was light on this side, right? The hill kind of goes down. See the curve of the ceiling there?
That reminds me of Winter Soldier when they went into the bunker.
So the hill, the curve.
You're awesome, Captain America.
Right. So the hill gets bigger this way. So the curve of that ceiling is kind of the curve of the hill. So it kind of goes up.
There's no sound. Did you
yeah, I might have to unshare and share. No, unshare and reshare with the audio.
Oh wait,
there's no audio.
Oh, I thought I added the audio. Oh, you guys, you got to hear the audio. It's very clutch. Screen share system audio. Okay. I clicked it this time. All right. So here's me walking in.
Oh yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Okay, now we got audio.
I don't really know what's over there, but there's light, so let's go into the dark. Okay, I don't know what's back here. It's freaky as shit. All railroad tracks.
Okay, so this is on an iPhone 4, I think I had at the time.
It's just an empty room. It's so weird. I want to know what's down in the end of the hallway. It's so creepy.
Did you hear it?
What the fuck was that?
Go
you
back,
hear it?
repeat.
Oh, so I say this is so creepy. And then it's almost like someone's in the background like Listen again.
End of the hallway. So creepy. This looks like another entrance to the
Yeah.
Now, so many people have told me that was just an echo from the outside. Look, guys. I was kind of like talking to get myself to keep going into this place because it was dark, cold, and an old mortar base from like when people actually would die from cutting themselves on anything. You know what I mean? 1890, like who knows what kind of shit, like getting hit with a mortar. Granted, I mean, it was 1890. I don't know how many wars were being fought with mortars back then, but it doesn't matter. I did not hear that. It's very audible. I didn't hear that.
Would you would have probably gone, what the fuck? You would have turned around.
I would have been like, what the fuck just laughed at me? Like, what the fuck? I'm out. No, I don't know. That did not, I did not hear that when I was there. I'm telling you. Let's do it again, and then I'm going to bring you forward.
The end of the hallway. So creepy. This looks like another entrance to the railroad room.
Okay. Now, this is the moment where I wish I could turn it up for you guys because you have to listen in the white noise. Okay? The background noise. Listen in there. And I'm panning the camera over the threshold of the doorway. It's right at that moment.
Oh man, this just keeps going further and further.
Okay. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard something.
Listen to it again
It's low for me, but
and try to hear a woman. I don't want to like lead you, but
it sounds like to me somebody talking.
it's
But-
but when you hear it, I can't unhear it. It's
Yeah.
like the shit haunts me. Listen to it again. I'm gonna back up a little bit more.
Oh man, this just keeps going further and further. It's the doorway.
Oh my god!
I heard a little. Yeah, I'm gonna have to
It
like
was
play this on my stereo
indistinguishable.
after the show.
Yeah, if you turn it up on an
turn it way
actual
up.
stereo, holy shit.
It's the doorway.
Creeped me out, man. I can't unhear it. And
I
I go
love-
deep into this place.
I love
It's-
the electronic voice phenomena. That's a good one.
I don't know what I caught, but that's like my only
Dude, there's an
Dang.
Art Bell episode. There's a couple of EVP Art Bell episodes that whatever they do, they'll freak you out.
Mhm.
Whether it's real or not, it'll freak your ass out. Was that Az screaming? No. You would have heard this.
You would have definitely heard that.
That was that's Az actually being scared in a video game.
That was a
I-
great moment.
I was like, I DM'd him once. I was like, hey man, you wanna go like explore some ancient ghost shit in Europe? And he was like, fuck no.
Oh, dude, I'll go with you.
He's like, hell no, I don't.
Stay
Me?
overnight. I'll stay overnight anywhere.
I would too.
I can do it. I can do it.
Even in this old mortar base.
Yeah.
I mean, with proper lights and like,
No
I
lights,
feel it'd be
bruh.
no
I've
no
been to-
lights.
I've been to prison. Shit won't scare me. What is the spirit gonna do to me? Nothing. They're dead. They're little floaty
Might be
ghosts.
some freaky spirits out there, buddy.
Yeah, they can say all they want. Yeah, it'd have to be a little warmer. Art of Dominique. She's too cold for me. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, I don't want to sit in the cold, but
True.
let's do it. I'm down. I'm down. I'd love to fucking stay overnight at Skinwalker Ranch in Homestead too. In that
Yeah.
creepy ass looking house. Like fuck
That creepy
Oh,
cat.
would
It's kind of
you?
breaking down though.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if it's safe. Not because of the shit that might happen, because of the state of the
floor.
house. Yeah, the
Foundation.
floor, the house itself.
The roof might cave in.
Uh,
Luck to you if you do.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Thanks for sharing that, Adam. All right, let's get to
Go listen to it yourself, people, and
Yeah.
turn up the volume.
Link it in the
All right.
description.
This is from a YouTube video that we're playing over StreamYard. Like,
StreamYard audio is garbage. We were just
yeah,
talking
the
about.
audio's it doesn't do it justice, guys, and you have to just go listen to it to yourself. Here, I'll put it in the private chat so you can go straight to it
I'll put
yourself.
it into the description.
ugly.
And here, I'll put it.
Brandon.
You guys could go check it out yourself. I just put it in the chat. So
That's my favorite ranch episode. I would say my favorite one is all the stuff with the cows. Like when they saw the UAP and the cows started freaking out. I thought that was a pretty good one.
I loved it when he came back and he was like, "Yeah, I've been working for the government," and they were like, "What the hell, man?
I know.
What the hell?"
So
That made me
pissed.
laugh. I was laughing,
It
dude.
did
That
make me-
that was a good.
Like I don't. Why are you surprised? You got a NASA scientist to be on your show, and you're surprised he's got security clearance and works for the government.
Well, no. Dragon was straight up was like, "So wait a minute, you weren't working for them when we brought you on, no?" And he's like,
No, he
"No."
wasn't,
And
no.
so he's like, and then he's like, "So you got that opportunity because of us?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess so." And he's all like, "Yeah, that probably makes sense."
And he's
Dragon's just like,
Offended.
and
this
Brandon
fucking guy.
Hugo, like I like Brandon's response. Brandon's response to that is like, well, if they want something from us, we're gonna need something from them. It's gotta
Yeah.
be it's gotta
Two-way
be
street.
reciprocal. And I'm like, yep, I'd say the same fucking thing. Fuck you,
Well,
motherfuckers. You want
They already
something?
got all the information they needed from him, dude.
They did, and it's a UAP task force that he can't. He said he
Talk
could
about.
talk about some stuff now, but he said he couldn't then.
But he hasn't said anything.
That we know of for
Ever
sure.
since ever since the government opened up about that stuff that was, by the way, that was smuggled out. So they had to admit it because it was smuggled out and it was going to get released anyway. I think a lot of people were like, the government released that information in 2017. No, it was smuggled out and they had to like corroborate it because they had a bunch of fucking pilots corroborate it. You know, a bunch of really legit pilots who saw it, engaged with it. So the government can't say, well, these highly, I mean, they've done it in the past, but these high, especially, you know, Fravor, you know, like you can't
in the phenomenon, they talk about that pilot who saw it.
You can't discredit that guy. You just fucking can't. Go watch his Joe Rogan interview. You know, that's a normal dude. That's a dude who was like straight up Top Gun pilot. You know, the guy's legit. And he had the balls, the fucking absolute Chad. It's like, I'm going to engage a UFO. I'm going to go down and see what this motherfucker is. It's like, dude, respect.
Yeah.
Fucking respect.
Get it.
So thank you, Tolkien Brown, for $9.99. Let's go to the soups. It's time. Jared Cruz has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Thank you very much, Jared. I appreciate it. Tricky has gifted another 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships. A total of $50.
Damn.
For a total of 10 Nerdrotic Live memberships. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the show. And we're still in our infancy. Cheers. I think we leveled up last week. I mean, it would have been nice if you were here, Adam. But like having Jimmy on,
the intro
was leveling up. The intro, Perry's brilliant intro.
Perry.
We're gonna have Ben next week, and then it's like June is like Forbidden Frontier month. We're gonna be doing 2 things that are very forbidden frontier. Like, I can't wait, man. I'm so happy Contact in the Desert's back. You have no idea how much I love that crazy show.
I have an idea, actually. How much you love it.
What's that? Oh, you probably have an idea. You probably do.
No, I mean, I have ideas, but I was talking about, you said I had no idea, but I think I do.
The last time I was there, the last time they had a show, I had just hit 100,000 subscribers. It was 2019.
Wow.
Wow, long way. You've come a long way.
Crazy. And I went there by myself. My wife had to work. Kids were in school, so I went by myself. Just walked around and did video. I got this Airbnb that it was so big I didn't need it, but it was cheap. So I got this full house for myself. I did videos from it and live streams. It was right around the time. Oh my God. People were getting nicked off of YouTube for criticizing Brie Larson. I think Star Wars Girl had a video, video taken down. I had a live stream taken down, and it was when they were like the bots were mass flagging. So all that shit was going on. It was a long time ago. You can dig and find it on my channel though. They're around. That's how long it's been. Then, COVID hit. And they do it in 2020, 2021, 2022. I'm like, the show's dead. I thought the show was dead, and they finally brought it back. So pretty happy. Magnum Norris for $20. Lizzo was spotted outside the planet of Jupiter. She had too much mass, so Jupiter shot her out to Pluto. She's going to eat it. Now, how do we stop this woman? Put her on a diet? I don't know. Don't put her in more Star Wars so it'll kill it faster. That's a good idea.
Sorry, I'm laughing at someone in chat. Said I was just watching Adam's video. The only thing I heard was Adam's farting. Because I literally fart in the middle of it and it just echoes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
That's classy.
That's an important detail you left out.
I mean, that was me. I know where the source of that sound.
I know what the ghost said now. It fucking smells in here. Get this fucker out of here.
Oh my gosh.
This is a bad time to point out that we're also on Spotify and iTunes. But if you are listening to Spotify, we now I figured out how to upload video on Spotify.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's a thing. You can put video with your audio on Spotify, so you can listen or watch. If you're driving, probably not, but we have a lot of people out there. I actually got the analytics now. They're not, for somebody who has not tried it all or even talked about Spotify, we're not doing bad. We're not doing bad. So if you're out there trucking, driving, listening to us, don't watch us on video. Keep your eyes on the road. Okay. Josh Kelsey has donated $20. Doesn't have anything to say, but Josh, thank you for the support. We greatly appreciate it. What's this one say? Captain
Ridiculous awesome sauce.
Captain Ridiculous Awesome Sauce. It's all one word. Was that your dog? Somebody called your other dog ugly in the chat.
Wow.
Not as ugly as your
Jojo? My older dog, she was so ugly. She was cute. Yep. I agree.
How old was she?
12.
Oh,
yeah.
Young. Well,
I know.
Ryan was horribly cruel to that dog.
Too
so
soon.
I gotta say it like it's all one word. So Captain Ridiculous Awesome Sauce.
There it is.
$10. Chat rocks. Crigler rules. Nerdrotic kicks ass. And X-Ray Girl rules. Intro is on fire, and I love the show. Keep them coming. Absolutely. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It does my heart good. We brought this subject up a while back, probably like a year ago. I'm like, Adam, we got to get you on a UFO show. We need to do a UFO show.
Yes.
And as always, I eventually get around to shit.
And shout out to Quarter Black Garrett. He's not with us right now, but he introduced me to Randall Carlson, and he said, "Oh man, all the Randall you can handle, believe it." And I was like, "I will." And then the following week, I think I watched maybe 10 to 15 hours worth of just Joe Rogan podcasts with Randall's own personal stuff about sacred geometry and like the freaking rabbit hole that brings you down. Like, oh my goodness, dude. And then of course Graham Hancock and all that. So Garrett, thanks for that.
It's a hell of a rabbit hole. It's really enjoyable. And with Randall's stuff, it's very grounded. He backs his shit up. And he's based, by the way. That always helps. Randall's based.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when he just tears up the whole climate change thing. Climate change is real. The climate always changes, always has changed. It doesn't really stay consistent at all. What he points out is it changes really, really drastically. Recently, it changed drastically. And quite frankly, we're in some pretty good times right now. So he questions the sixth great extinction theory that people are trying to push so they can tax us on farting. Although I would be for taxing Adam for his farts.
Look, I gotta just say, all right, I will always admit when I fart. All right. And I did in the video and I laughed at it because I think flatulence is funny. All right.
It is funny. And you lie about a fart when you're like 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Insult. You just go, yeah. Tell me the time you did. Tell me you don't fart. Okay. Yeah.
Girls don't fart. What are you talking about?
Girls don't fart. Diego Salazar for 450 Argentinian pesos. Thank you very much, Diego. I have a friend, and she's not into UFOs. She saw a light come out of the Uritorgo and travel into the horizon in 2 seconds while she was at her hotel. And you guessed it right, by the way, the Argentinian pesos. So that's what I guessed right. I would love to see a fucking UFO.
Me too.
I would love to. Satsu Sama for 2 Chilean. I think it's Chilean pesos. Long man intro. Yes. Mahler voices the intro, by the way. Mahler, thank you, Mahler, for doing that.
It's excellent. He fits it perfectly.
The voice is perfect.
It's so good.
Yeah, if he wasn't such a great YouTuber, he'd probably have a great career doing voiceover and reading audiobooks and stuff. Jeremy's creamy back end for 10 euros.
Oh my God.
Which Jeremy, by the way, I'm going to just say it's our Jeremy Griggs. Hey, y'all. What would be scarier, more likely? Aliens that are abstract looking or aliens that look exactly like us? Hail to the Forbidden Frontier. Hail to pineapple pizza, even though I hate it. There you go. I think
neither.
Yeah, I think there are aliens who look like us. I do. There's the Nordics. The Nordics.
From the Pleiades.
Yep. I think there is. I think we come from somewhere else. There is
I believe it too.
a fringy theory out there that humans aren't really
From here.
from here. They seem a little like we fit in with the environment, but we need to wear clothes. We have back problems. We have a lot of problems that animals don't have. It's weird.
Mm.
The bipedalness.
The bipedal.
Still looking for that missing link.
Still looking. Angel Fire. You see how I figured that one out, X-Ray Girl? I'm a little less boomery today.
So, I'm so proud of you.
He's on his game.
Spelled it with the 4 is an A and the 3 is an E on the Streamlabs.
Look at you.
I know. I'm getting so good at this now that I'm old.
He's so hip.
Hail everyone. I hope you're having a great Sunday. I am. I'm chatting
Me
with
too.
Adam and X-Ray Girl. This is a good time. Did you guys see the article I tagged you with Twitter about the Smithsonian being forced to admit they destroyed thousands of giant human skeletons? No. Where'd you tag it? Did you tag
Let me
Forbidden
see if I
Frontier?
can find
Make
it.
sure. Okay, follow us on Forbidden Frontier has its own Twitter. X-Ray Girl can
FF
put the
Show Official.
link in the chat. I will start retweeting it more. So tag us both.
I actually did see it and I looked into it a little bit, and there's a lot of stuff saying it's not true, but who the fuck knows?
Well,
you know?
Did you see what I threw into the chat? Not the UFO thing, but the about 3 days ago. My mind was blown when I saw this. I will pull it up right here. They found something that's older than Göbekli Tepe.
Really?
What?
How much older?
About 1,000 years older.
Wow. What?
1,000-year-old temple was found during excavation
In Turkey, of course.
Bukaki, Tarla, in southeast Turkey. A temple thought to be 12,000-year-old was unearthed in Tarla. I'm just going to say Tarla. In the Isu neighborhood of Dargekit.
I believe in you.
Dargekit district of Mardin, province of southeast Turkey. Archaeology excavations in the region, which were initiated in 2012 by the Mardin Museum, continue with the scope of the works on documenting rescuing and cultural assets remaining in Turkey has the most exciting stuff going on because
I know. I want to go,
dude. Well, Egypt is fucking shut out a lot of stuff. But Turkey's like digging away, which is great. But the reason I found this article, it bears similarities to Göbekli Tepe, but the headline that I saw that was shared with me was, "Forget Göbekli Tepe. This place is older." I'm like, what? Wow. The skeletons, they found skeletons. More than 1,000 beads were found in these graves. So there was graves.
No, say 100,000 beads.
No, 100,000 beads. Sorry. More than 100,000 beads were found in these graves. The skeletons of approximately 130 individuals have been unearthed during the excavations carried out so far.
Wow.
Something they didn't have at Göbekli Tepe. The building unearthed this year has features that we think are related to the faith due to both its architectural features and finds inside. There are steles inside. There is both columns, stone mesh. Here it is. I mean, it's not as exciting as Göbekli Tepe, but it's older. It's older.
I noticed there's a lot of mostly small stones. Is that column in the middle one stone?
That it looks like it is fit into like a base stone right there. But yeah, that column is one stone. But maybe
I wonder if they're going to build under Göbekli Tepe because they found things underneath it, which who knows?
Yeah, crazy stuff.
This is wild.
How far from it? How far is it from Göbekli Tepe?
That's a good question. Let's see if it mentions that anywhere. the pre-pottery Neolithic period and covers all phases of this period. A large number of architectural remains, houses, private buildings, public buildings, many skeleton. Okay, buildings. We were supposed to be hunter-gatherers with no buildings.
It says it's almost 300 kilometers, according to Google.
Long ways. That's a long ways.
300 kilometers away. Wow. Okay.
Pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy. But that's not a place I've heard Graham or Randall mention. And it seems smaller. But if it's older, that's more signs that there was civilization, and I think it would give more evidence of maybe this is more of a legacy that was passed down after a cataclysm. A little something for my favorite show. Give, please. Forbidden Frontier taken NRG, says Cree84 for $9.63 on the stream website. Thank you. Eric Brown for $4.99. Thanks for the great end of the weekend. And there are 4 purple lights. There are 4 purple lights. Yeah, the purple light was like the lamest thing they did.
So lame.
It was like even if it was like somebody fucking with them, I'd have just left it out of the show.
Agreed.
Like if you got nothing,
meet me over in this field. We're gonna go look at this purple light. We're gonna try to find this.
Like interview more indigenous witnesses.
Right. Like, that was cool.
That was cool. They talked to
that was
kids. Yeah, who had snuck onto the ranch after their parents told them not to and had experiences. Like, do more of that. That's fine.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
Mario Build Reps YouTube channel, expanding Earth theory and shifting poles. Awesome channel. Says Decky69 for $10. Hey, chat, were you asking? Was it the Y files you were asking to get on? Is that who you were asking?
At some point, some people have mentioned Y files.
Yeah. Y files killing it, man. Killing it. Had a video out yesterday. 1 million views in one day.
Wow.
Killing it. Absolutely killing it. Good channel. Good channel. The Steel Rat for $10. I think there is multiple types of aliens. I agree. I think there's a whole universe of them. Honestly, I think the most accurate science fiction is Hitchhiker. That's what I think. I think it's crazy out there. In the 70s, I saw a cigar-shaped UFO hovering over. Well, okay, maybe like there's not robotic cricket teams destroying planets, but you know what I mean.
Who knows?
Who knows? In the 70s, I saw a cigar-shaped UFO hovering over a herd of dairy cows as I was riding my bike home from school. It just took off after about 2 minutes. And there's a pilot. Was it in Phenomena? I think it was. It was in one of the. I get my UFO documentaries mixed up. But the pilot was following a UFO over a cow pasture, and this is a legit military pilot, and was following it, and it took off, and these are trained observers talking about that stuff, and just you hear this. I know what I saw. That's what you hear a lot.
And I also hear a lot from all these people that when the officials came in, they were told, "Don't tell anyone."
Shut up. Yep.
Shut up. All of them.
JP Chapman for £2 How about getting James Fox on? I'll try. I mean, he goes on like Joe Rogan and stuff like that, but I'll reach out. I follow him on Twitter, so I'll reach out, see what happens. I'd definitely love to talk to him. He's working on another documentary right now. J.R. Leach for £5 Love this show. Inspired me to write my own article on the media assassination of Graham Hancock. Ooh, I'd love to read it.
Yeah. Cool.
Got it published in 2 magazines.
Wow.
Cheers for the vibes. Dude, please, send us a copy. Congratulations.
Please. Very nice.
And it is a media assassination of Graham. Like, Graham's not a perfect person. Like,
nobody is.
Nobody is. He's a little prickly. Talks about ayahuasca a bit too much.
Agreed.
But other than that, brilliant man. He probably thinks I talk about the MCU too much. Morehouse for $9.99. Maybe I do. Off topic, but Gary, you said you like the Guardians comics. I did. Well, Dan Abnett wrote the Eisenhorn series, which is a 3 great Warhammer novels. Oh, no shit. Abnett's fucking awesome, by the way. Awesome comic book writer. Short and easy to get into. Definitely recommended as a start. Okay. Decky 69 for $4. The pink stuff was cesium. What what was special about cesium?
I guess we'll find out next week.
Wasn't it not in the atmosphere until we?
It was used for something. Cesium is a chemical element with the symbolic C with a little s and atomic number 55. It is a soft, silvery, golden alkali. I'm fucking retarded. Metal with a melting point of 28.5 degrees Celsius.
Oh yeah, he said something about cloaking, right? Someone mentioned that.
It makes it one of the only 5 element metals that are liquid at or near room temperature. Yes, they did. That's what they said.
Right.
For like radar. That's interesting. That is interesting.
Cloaking.
Was it the Aztecs? It was not the Aztecs. Maybe it was the Aztecs. Maybe a little before. In Teotihuacan, and under one of the pyramids, to protect it, they had like a river of mercury surrounding wherever like whatever leader was buried or something like that. And that's not that's similar to tombs in China and other places.
I heard a different theory about the mercury in these places, that they actually had the ability to turn mercury into gold. And that's why they had so much gold.
Well, mercury is part of mining gold. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Again, I'm going off my memory. I visited a gold mine where they would have the people, they dig up the gold, and the rocks with the gold would come down and they'd clean it out with like mercury. And that's where no, it wasn't that. It was like that's where the Mad Hatter comes from, right? So they would have
Mad Hatter.
They would make hats and like dip it in fucking mercury, and then these motherfuckers would wear these hats, and
that's something different.
It would make them crazy.
Wait, what does that have to do with gold mining though?
Oh, the gold miners were wearing those hats.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting.
Mad Hatter.
Someone's saying that's lead.
Was it? It was. I'm going off of memory here.
But the mercury in the hats were actually a thing.
Mad Hatter disease is a form of chronic mercury poisoning.
Right. But I don't think that's what
mercury
the gold
was
miners were using.
Mercury was used in gold mining too.
It was. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Very interesting.
Yeah, well, dude, it was like 8 years ago. I visited a gold mine in California, Northern California. We took a train through it. It was fucking awesome.
That's cool.
Then they told us like, all these people fucking died mining gold. Like, it's like great. But alchemy. I mean, the ancient alchemy of being able to turn lead into gold. That goes way, way back. Maybe mercury was involved, but they also think mercury was involved in, help me chat, it was in the piloting of one of the UFOs too. It was part of, God.
I'm just waiting for chat.
No, it was, help me chat. It was part of the India. It was part of the what are the flying machines called in India from the Vedics? It was, I gotta look it up now.
Vimana.
The Vimana.
I just saw someone say, I didn't know what that. Yeah. I've never heard of that. So yeah. Is that it?
Yes.
Who was that? That was. I'm gonna give some credit where it's due.
Jalapeno chorizo.
Jalapeno chorizo.
Yep. Michael Cremo brings that up. And the bell. You're right. The Nazi UFO, the bell.
The bell.
Yes. It was used for that too. I got too much stuff in my brain.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that though.
And not enough access points.
It gets there eventually.
I like the one with the rabbi who meditated and changed the temperature. That one was pretty good. Yeah, the temperature changes they had was very interesting. Tolkien Brown for $9.99. I don't know if I have a favorite episode. I want to say last season was the best season.
Season 3?
Yeah, last season.
I didn't watch season 3. I watched a little bit of season 1, but then I wanted to, because we were talking about season 4, so I just jumped right to season 4.
Burn through it. That's what I
Okay.
did.
Yeah.
Sven Dragon for $5. Check out Asha logos for Scythian lore. Basically helps fill the gap on the peoples after the ancient apocalypse. Oh, all right. Hell yeah. Well, we're still trying to figure out that gap, like the Clovis people. Like, what the fuck happened?
Mm-hmm.
Resef the Cripple for $10 on the Streamlabs side. YouTube wouldn't let me send this, but Gary, you should try to contact Robert Barnes' friend, the People's Pundit, on YouTube. He has a UFO story that is pretty legit. He also is the most accurate pollster on of the last 5 electric cycles. So he's not crazy. I know exactly who you're talking about, and I'll contact Robert Barnes. Robert Barnes hung out at the Friday Night Tights in he was with us in Vegas.
Dude, Robert Barnes is awesome.
He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Takes no shit. Love that guy. Nick S for $4.99. Boone, North Carolina is awesome. Born and raised there. There are also weird phenomena I saw when I was at the Brown Mountain Lights. WG is Boone near the Brown Mountain Lights? You've got to look up the Brown Mountain Lights, Adam.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know about them.
So what I think they are, I actually think they're a natural phenomenon. You ever heard of Will-o'-the-Wisp? Yeah, Will-o'-the-Wisp is a European thing, but I think there's something in the ground that creates these lights, and it's fucking weird. So these lights like pop up, they move around, then they disappear. And there's a couple of good videos of them.
Seems like there's a lot of shit in North Carolina.
Yeah, well, including the I don't know if that's South Carolina or North Carolina. Carolina Bays. Are those in South Carolina or North Carolina? Which could be it's swamp gas. Dr. Hynek, who came up with the swamp gas thing, said it was total bullshit. So but swamp gas is a thing. It's Lizzo gas. That's what I believe it is.
Gross.
Right. Adam, you probably got to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm fighting some yawns. I did a lot of gardening today and de-weeding.
We need to talk about gardening.
So you picked all your pot plants?
Oh, dude, I'm not even close to being done, man. We've got wild strawberries all over the place.
Ooh,
and especially, and they're so sweet. They're sweeter than any strawberry I've ever tasted. And I want to keep the strawberries, but get rid of all the junk that's in this like one spot in my garden. And oh man, it is just so time consuming to get rid of. There's nettles. Do you know what nettles are? They're the plants that if you touch them, they sting instantly.
Yeah, I have a plant like that.
They're really annoying, and
you almost put a plant like that in your hair in Vegas, and my wife had to stop you.
I mean, look pretty.
Some flower that I can't.
It would have been worth the pain.
No, I don't. Definitely don't.
Yeah, and my wife said, don't put that in your hair.
I'm like, and then I threw it down immediately. I was like, oh, thank God for her. Honestly.
Yeah. She's all right.
So it was a good day though. But I love the show. Everyone, thank you very much. You guys are the best. I will see you next week. I'm excited, dude. Uncharted X, dude. What a freaking amazing guest.
Yeah, I'm sorry to report that your homework is to watch a lot of Uncharted X videos. And that goes for you too, chat.
All right.
You do homework for this show.
It's true. I do my homework. Enzo. Right. I know you're just joking, but no, you guys are fantastic. Shout out to quarterback Garrett. Miss you when you're gone. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't make him work tomorrow night.
I'm actually going to give him time off unless Disney does something really dumb in the next 48 hours. But
okay,
Perry's going to work next.
Well, there's a high probability of that, but anyway. You guys are the best.
Right.
I'll see you next week.
Bye,
Take care,
Adam.
Adam. Thank you.
Later, guys.
Check him, Adam Crigler, out on his own channel and on Side Scrollers with Stuttering Craig.
Mhm.
Good stuff there. Quarter Black is going to be on the Side Scrollers show. I just saw on Twitter on Thursday, I believe.
Ooh,
Thursday.
very nice. Fun show.
Ghost Farts. I just saw Ghost Farts. That's what he should have named his video. Ghost Farts. Ghosts react to my farts.
Giggles and then says, "Oh my god." She
Right.
smells it.
We're gonna finish up these super chats. Okay, so remember last week I said, hey, if I didn't get to them, I'd do them in the square up. Well, I did square up, and it's on this channel. So if you didn't get any of your super chats read on the main show last week because we had a hard out, go towards, if you don't, I mean, I say listen to the entire square because it's super entertaining, or you can go towards the end when I get to the Forbidden Frontier stuff and I read your super chats. So thanks, everyone. Agamemnon Fireman for $10. We've talked about a lot of great, compelling videos, docs, and evidence, but what's some total garbage that makes you laugh when you watch it just for fun? I laugh my ass. I laugh my ass off at Ancient Aliens. I watch Ancient Aliens unironically and love it, and fucking love it. I think the person I've called out repeatedly is David Wilcock. I think he is full of shit. I think pretty much everybody knows that, but I think he's absolutely full of shit. I think he's a huckster. But I stopped watching. I mean, yeah, there's some like out there people that I still find super entertaining. You know, I just do. But David Wilcock is not one of them. It's not one of them. He was with that Corey guy who said he was de-aged or aged up and lived on a base in fucking Mars. And I'm like, fuck off with this shit. Like, this is what ruins the entire field. You know, like, watch Richard Dolan. He's got a website if you want to sign up. I think it's behind a paywall, but like, just go to his YouTube channel. He just did a great interview with a filmmaker recently about fast walkers and that term, you know, in NASA, with NASA and our military program. Great interview. Go check it out. Dolan is the man. Sophie for 6 Martian pesos. Hail, did X-Ray Girl get the llama and scrunchie I sent? Trying to make sure Customs didn't keep anything. Or Gary. I didn't keep it all. The candy was passed out to the fellowship. It was.
I didn't get a llama scrunchie, but I look forward to it.
Yeah.
If it gets to me.
Customs takes a minute.
It does.
They do. They certainly do. I just bought something off eBay in the UK, and it's probably gonna be like 3 weeks till I get it, but it's worth it.
Worth the wait always.
Oh yeah. I never thought I'd find this book again. I've been looking on eBay and the book was never there. Then I looked 2 days ago and there's 3 copies. And I'm like, this is how it always works.
Karma. You're like,
so there is a rare book. If you're a Fifth Element fan, which I am, there's not a lot of Fifth Element stuff, but there's a rare book that came out when the movie came out called The Story of the Fifth Element, which was a French book, but they did translate it to English for the UK. Had a copy, lost it with my store. Never bothered to find it again because like the prices I was seeing was like $1,000 and $500. I'm like, not paying that much.
oh my God.
Found it for $200. Nabbed it. And it's just like, it's a big promotional art. It's like, you know, the art of whatever your favorite movie is, but it's a Fifth Element book that was produced right when the Fifth Element came out. So that's one of my favorite movies. Johan Naxos for $10. As a RF nerd and an audio nerd, EVPs are fascinating. I want to build one of those radio sweep boxes, but I want to cover more than commercial FM band most boxes use. Also, infrasound. Yeah. Well, hey, invent one. Invent one. I got to dig it up. It's on one of my hard drives. I have an EVP story. I've told it before, but I'll dig it up. The Old Guard for £5 British pounds. Gary is the type of person, if he saw a UFO, would whip out his mobile, then boomer record it in 142 resolution. Guilty as charged. Old Guard, Guilty as charged. I would get the phone out, think I recorded the whole thing, and then like my camera would be flipped towards me, or I'd have
He's just like, oh my God.
God. Magnum Norris for $10. That toasty is bringing me back to the 90s when we used to go to arcades and fight. That's right.
Mm.
Andrew Matthews for £5 If they're looking at cow butts, they should send Gorlock to check out Skinwalker. Gorlock.
I don't think Gorlock could handle it.
Tolkien Brown for $10. Gary, if you visited Maracasi Plateau in my home of Peru, you're guaranteed to see a UFO. I promise. Those aliens have a base there. I cannot wait to go to Peru. So Egypt is first. Peru is second. Peru will be second.
That'd be a good trip. Sure.
And I'd stay there for 2 weeks. Decky69 for $5. Sarbamba. Jason Richardson for $15. They should make a movie where Phoebe Waller-Bridge uses the dial of D to visit ancient cultures and enrich them. I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge needs to dial up the D a little more often. Sorry.
Oh no. That was a good one.
Thank you. She's I just made a video about her, so she's on my mind right now. The Klingon theme from Star Trek was awesome. Decky69 for $5. You are correct. It's Worf's theme now. I mean, that's basically what they made Worf's theme. Star Trek the Motion Picture is a wonderful movie. It's a beautiful, wonderful movie. Diego Salazar for 900. Is it Argentinian? Yeah, those are Argentinian.
Yep.
Thank you. Cool thing for me about the Younger Dryas is that around the same time Robert E. Howard set the Hyborian Age. Yes. So there was a big Atlantis. Like Atlantis has been around for a long, long time, but there was a big Atlantis craze in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And clearly Robert E. Howard knew his mythology. And the Hyborian Age is all based like Conan has an Atlantean sword in the film. He has an Atlantean sword. So it's read Robert E. Howard Conan. It is wonderful. And the way Robert E. Howard writes, it's a very early 1900s pulp way of writing. It's freaking awesome. It's just super intense and high testosterone, and I love the shit out of it. When the oceans drank it, quoting here, between the time when the oceans drank Atlantis and the rise of the sons of Arius, between two cataclysms. That's right. Foundation Hill for $5. Hail, Gary. Zimbabwe is British. South Africa is Dutch and British. There you go. My dad is from Zimbabwe. Mom from SA, San Antonio?
South Africa, I think.
South Africa. But I'm from Texas. Love the show. Your mom is from South Africa.
Or do you actually mean San Antonio? Like, it's actually confusing now.
I thought SA. That's what I think. Jared Cruz gifted 5 Nerdrotic live memberships for $25. Maybe you meant San Antonio. I don't know. Satsusama for 2 Chilean pesos. Exure agu.
I'm here with my white people. White people?
Decky69 for $5. Linda Moulton Howe, crazy cat lady, needs to get on the story. She would figure it all out. She is a treasure. I love her. I do. She had the Earth Files report. I think she's still doing it on Coast to Coast. I don't listen to George Snorri because he sucks. I'll listen to George Knapp on Saturday, who should run the show. John B. Wells should have taken over for Art Bell. Was unceremoniously kicked off the weekend version of Coast to Coast when he was getting better ratings than George Snorri because John B. Wells has a voice that's close to Art Bell and he's a better interviewer and just a better radio host. He's on Caravan to Midnight. If you care to find John B. Wells, talks more about political stuff. He used to do paranormal, but he's more political and conspiratorial. which is, I mean, I like that too. But yeah, John B. Wells, awesome. Bubba Doom 1 for $2. Did you see the UFO video Secure Team put out this week? I did. Fascinating stuff. I don't want to go check out Secure Team if you want to see it. That video that flies past the UFO that flies past the Cessna, the plane, that is fucking crazy. That is crazy. I have a hard time believing you could fake that. I don't know if you've seen it, X-Ray Girl. We'll show it next week. Okay.
Sounds good.
It's been going around. It's actually a year old. The video is a year old, but it's making the rounds now for some reason. Odin79 on the Streamlabs side for $3. Hail just canceled Netflix, so hurry up with your website, Gary, so I can give you $10 for a month. Gary, I might have missed it in the square up, but have you heard about the Carrington event in 1859? Yes. The Carrington event is actually brought up in, I believe, America before, possibly even Magicians of the Gods. So the Carrington and Robert Schock definitely brings it up in his book. So if you haven't heard of the Carrington event, it was a, I don't know what type, I say X flare, but I know that's a specific type of flare. So a flare came from the sun. It hit Earth. It was witnessed in the UK when guys used to just do this for fun. They would stare at the sun and they witnessed the flashes. So you could see them from Earth. It took a couple of days. It hit the Earth and it fried what electronics we had at the time, which was telegraph. Some of the telegraph stations, some of the machines caught on fire. Some of them were running without batteries because so much energy was going through the wires. It wreaked havoc on the very rudimentary electronics we had of the day. If it hit us now, we'd be fucked. Totally fucked. And it could happen tomorrow. Look up the Carrington event. That Zach 0 for $2. Westall 66 is another one. Yes, Westall 66. Very, very good. Very good. UFO. Bad Adam 12 for $5. The term grizzled reporter makes me think of Darren McGavin as Kolchak in Night Stalker. Fucking great show. By the way, that was one of the inspirations for the X-Files, along with Art Bell. Christian Wolf for $1.99. I grew up on Vandenberg. Yes, lots of rockets. Matthew Hammond for $4.99. Tom McDonald has a ghost story on his YouTube channel where he talks about going through an abandoned children's institution. Scary stories with Tom McDonald. Ooh, I'll have to check that out. I like Tom McDonald. Matthew Hammond for $4.99 again. We need an FNT Canada meetup. Then go to Tranquil, Canada, where Tom McDonald experienced a ghost in an abandoned town with a crazy story.
I'll have to watch that to see where it is. Tranquil, Canada.
Last time I was in Canada was 6, and I was in British Columbia. We were super far north, so I got to see the Northern Lights for the first time.
I've still not seen them. I'm so jealous.
And I also almost got eaten alive by mosquitoes, which I am horribly, horribly allergic to.
Oh, no.
And my face swelled shut.
Oh, no. Did you have to go to the hospital?
Yep.
Oh, that sucks.
Eaton ass, thank you for the $1 donation. I appreciate it. Art Dominique for $2. Eton ass. Or is it Canas?
No, I think it's a play on words so that you'd say eating butts.
I say Ryan's like soggy ball sack. Just spell it out. It's okay. Art of Dominic for $2. Awesome show. And thanks for the like on Twitter. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, you're welcome, Art of Dominic. You don't have to thank me for that. I try to like as much as I can, but you're welcome. Thanks for being here. Decky69 for $5. You must have Randall Carlson on. Well, we're going to try when we're in Asheville. We'll see if he'll come on. I don't want to say too much, but we are setting up interviews. We are. Jimbo for $5. I've ripped some rough ones, but I've never farted bad enough to make a ghost scream. You have earned my respect, Adam. My fart woke up the dead.
Oh my god, that's a very biological one.
Okay, did we put the new intro?
Yes, we just got 2 more super chats. They keep coming in.
They
They keep
coming
coming
in.
in.
Is it on top? Did you put it on the very top?
At the very bottom, but I can read it if you don't want to look for it.
No, the intro
Oh, the intro at the very top.
at the very top. Okay. Oh, I'll find it, or you read it. They probably.
Oh,
won't
okay.
read it.
We got Hostman Socrates for $5. Would you do Forbidden Frontiers on unsolved mystery murders like Black Dahlia?
Yeah.
A lot of things are unsolved that we cover, technically speaking.
Yeah.
Nebuelaeus for $2. Did you check out Safar in Algeria, Gary?
No, I'll check it out though. I might know it. Sometimes some events I don't know the name of, but I know. I mean, there's stuff I haven't heard of, but not much, because I will spend a couple hours tonight fucking around looking at UFO and ancient civilization stuff. I just do it in my downtime when I'm just like, well, it usually starts with, I'm going to spend 10, 15 minutes on this before I go to bed. Then it's 2 hours later.
It's like a rabbit hole. You just get the next thing and the next and the next.
I watched, I wanted to find the most boring documentary possible to go to sleep. And I found one called 536 AD, the worst year in human history or something like that. Will Randall gets worked up about subject. It's a thing of beauty. When he gets worked up, it is great. In his last video, they were trying to debunk the Younger Dryas, and it was such a weak. And by the time he was done debunking their debunking, he's like, God damn it!
It's entertaining. I love it. Thanks, Decky.
So 536 AD, there's a documentary from like the 80s or 90s where this guy invented a program to cross-reference tree rings. Yes, I was watching a documentary about cross-referencing tree rings because of the Dark Ages. Now, 536 AD, that's right around when King Arthur died. It's the Dark Ages, and it's chronicled that it was the year without a sun. There was a nuclear winter, and it was more than a year, but they don't know what caused it. They thought maybe it's a comet. Well, they thought it could be one of 3 things: meteor, comet, volcano. So they came to terms with it's probably a volcano, and they think it was Krakatoa, but now they're not sure. So when scientists say they're so fucking sure about stuff that happened 100,000 years ago, they're not sure what blocked out the fucking sun in time where people recorded things. But we know that civilizations fell. They believe that because of this, it caused a paradigm shift. It brought on a plague. It pretty much wiped out what was left of the Constantinople Roman Empire. It led to the rise of England. It led to the rise of Islam. And it was 100-year thing that was started with this cataclysm that blocked out the fucking sun for 2 years. That led to a plague. It's crazy. So I'm like, I want to be bored by this documentary, and I'm locked in. This is fascinating. This is great. And this guy, yeah, they found it through tree rings. They're like, yeah, the trees were really fucked up for a couple of years, and they matched it with California. They think that's what destroyed Mexico, that the center of Mexico. I'm forgetting the name with all the pyramids. Yeah, and they think it led to the rise of Islam.
Oh,
Crazy.
that is insane.
Because shit was bad. Shit was very, very bad, and they were overthrowing institutions everywhere. There was revolution because people were fucking hungry. Tends to happen when people are hungry. Any plans on talking about the Phoenix Lights, brother? Redlock for $2. Absolutely, we will do a show on the Phoenix Lights. As a matter of fact, I think we should do one within a couple of months. I think we should do like more UFO shows around, especially Contact in the Desert, which is a mix of both, by the way. Contact in the Desert, it's called a UFO show, but Graham Hancock's going to be there. So that's the only thing. This might be the first. I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know the schedule yet, but this might be the first time Friday Night Tights is affected by something other than me being a boomer. We might have to move the time around. If Graham Hancock, for any reason, is speaking on early Friday afternoon, we're going to have to move the time around to FNT because I'm not going to miss it. But I don't think so. I think he's going to probably speak on Saturday.
Saturday afternoon. That's
Yeah. And plus, when we're there, when we're on the West Coast, Friday Night Tights starts at like 1 p.m. So, but that's it. It was a coronal mass ejection in 536, says Decky 69 for $5. Well, they don't know that. They suspect it's volcanic. That's all they know, and they narrowed it down to 3 volcanoes. But that would be another freaky thing. Like, so how could a coronal mass ejection put a bunch of dust up in the atmosphere, though, and fuck with the atmosphere? Now, it could mess with the magnetosphere and give people cancer. It can do that. But yeah, the sun went dark for a year. Like, there was winter basically for 2 years. But who knows? It might be a coronal, like those ones like those are the worst. They also use the trees for the era of Oh, by the way, they think a lot of mythology came from that too, by the way. Stradivarius violins, because the tree rings were so tight, it makes the voice of the wood very unique. That's right. You can't produce another Stradivarius violin. That's right. They're very unique. It's so weird. I love it. I love weird. I freaking love weird. It burned millions of acres of forest. Where? Decky 69 for $5, but that would be, that would it create a fine mist that would stay in the air for 2 years though? That'd be a lot of forest, man.
That's catastrophic for crops too.
Yeah, maybe. Not saying you're wrong. The documentary I watched was fucking old, and I went and looked it up, and Wikipedia is full of shit. But they said the theory is laying on volcanoes, but they don't know which one. INT award-winning photojournalist. My work has gotten British politicians canceled. Threats from anti-fudge and awesome docs attempt. They doxed and misspelled a version of my name. Well, that's lucky. Hoping to meet up in North Carolina, potentially collab. Sarah Kana for $20. Right on.
Awesome.
How's John doing? John okay, Sarah? Just kidding. Not really. You probably hear that all the time. That's the first time you've heard that joke, right, Sarah?
Probably. Definitely.
Right. Now we're going to definitely go. But Decky 69, that's fascinating. That would be North America, like the Festigo fire. Holy shit. That'd be crazy. That's freaky, Decky 69. I don't like the fire from the sky shit. I think I'm way more okay with a meteor. I know that's stupid, but I am. Because Robert Schoch described what a coronal mass ejection hitting the earth would be like, and it's butt puckering. It's like giant fucking lightning. Giant lightning. Not like tall, wide. If the sun was blocked out by Dracula, he would be lighter skinned. I'm a biotechnologist, so I'm not stupid, says Magnum Norse for $10. Nahanni Valley, Alaska, Valley of the Headless Men. What's that? That
sounds actually really freaky. No, thank you.
For $9.99. Okay, you guys are just trying to stall now. We need to go.
We know what you're doing.
We know what you're doing. We appreciate it. Man, stuff was hopping in the 1800s. I know it was. People were getting shot for crazy shit too. All right, so next week, Ben from Uncharted X. That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Adam Crigler. Thank you to Quarter Black Garrett, who's working his little butt off. We're making my video. See me, did the Younger Dryas too. Decky 69 for $5. I am open to that. I think you know what? I think it might have been part of it. I think it could. Robert Schoch makes a pretty good case, but I think he's a little too dismissive of I think he needs to be a little more open-minded. The Comet Research Group has done a lot of great work, and they haven't done. It's just Robert Schoch talking about the coronal mass ejection. But honestly, isn't that like us humans because we it's hard to find evidence of that we're just not going to consider it, which I think we should. Dread Bane for $10. Check 2 dark holes fusing the creating ripples in space and time. What might happen if it's close to home to our sun or disturbing orbits? They can send asteroids inside inner solar system. Yes.
That sounds freaky. Oh my gosh.
No, thank you very much. No. All right. Thanks, Carter Black. Thanks, X-Ray Girl. Thanks, Adam Crigler. Thank you to the Nerdrotics. Thank you, chat. Thanks for all the super chats and donation. You help keep the lights on. We appreciate you. We will see you next week with Ben from Uncharted X. So here's the intro that we should have played in the beginning. Perry worked on it. We got to show it.
God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all 3. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.
Not everyone.